Finally, your life has meaning because it's between two slabs.
There's a podcast called Between Two Slabs. They consume mass media. It seems so sad. It's the great curator and Merlin. They can't grow pubes, so they gotta wear a merkin. They got no money, so I guess they gotta share. Just two nerds wishing they could grow body hair. Comics, cards, and toys, nothing that would interest you. It's the podcast that nobody listens to.
Whoa, what an intro that was, man. Rise and shine. It is party time. It is Merlin and the great curator for another edition of Between Two Slabs. Now, we weren't here together this weekend. Dan was at the Burbank Card Show, and me, Merlin, was in Las Vegas celebrating an early birthday to see you two. But from the photos, you all can tell we both were happy campers this weekend. Am I right, Dan? Am I right? Were you a happy camper?
It was very eventful weekend. A lot of things to talk about. Just real quick, though, did you get my reference? Are you up to date on everything? Did you get the reference?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Right? The heel rock is back in full swing. I saw that promo on SmackDown, and I was like, I was rolling. I was like, yes.
I know. I didn't get to see SmackDown.
What's on my rock cards. 25% instantly after that promo.
What, for real?
Of course. The Rock is hot right now, man. I'm not going to give
Okay, good. Away. Then I got to put some of mine out, man. Yeah, I didn't get to see SmackDown Friday, but I did watch Raw last night. I just got home, rested, ate some dinner, sat down. So I did see the highlights from SmackDown. They made sure they showed that on Raw. And since this was the Raw before they head to Perth, Australia this weekend for the pay-per-view, or the PLE as they call it now, that I saw the clips, and they also had some of the Bloodline show up last night on Raw and interfere some of the matches. So there's a lot of events going on, but all I know of is that, Dan, you did give me FOMO this weekend, but you know what? You made me all giddy, and what's the Simon the Wrestler guy? You made me all warm and fuzzy, my tum-tum, knowing that you had a good show at the Burbank Card Show. So that makes me feel good and positive and, like I said, warm and fuzzy. So tell me more.
Yes, so we got a lot of things to talk about, guys. We're going to do a full debrief on the Burbank Card Show. So tell you guys all about that, tell you what was moving, what was not moving, the trends we saw, the experience, a couple crazy things happened. So we'll do a full debrief on that. We're going to talk about some news. For you guys, and do a couple plugs, and then the main discussion tonight will be should we stop being vendors in the hobby? And it's not what you think it's gonna be. Just like every main topic we talk about, guys, I always tease it, but it's not what you think the conversation is gonna be. It's gonna be from a totally different perspective, which I will share with you guys. So you're gonna want to stay tuned for that. And as always, we will get to your comments at the end of the show in the last hour or so. But if you have a pressing comment, throw up a super chat sticker with us. We don't care the amount. It could be 99 cents, whatever. We'll throw it up, and then we'll be able to see it, and then we'll get to it right away. If not, we will try to get to all the comments, depending on how much time we have towards the end of the show.
That's right, man.
One quick plug I want to make here is we have our shirts in again. Now I have size extra. I have size large, extra large, and I will have 2XL.
Oh, 2XL. All right.
Okay. So he actually made the old design for us, Merlin. He didn't do the new.
We're
gonna phase it in. We're gonna phase in the new gold designs coming soon. But if you guys want one of these shirts, I actually sold one of these shirts at Burbank too.
One. An XL or what size?
XL.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you guys do want one of the Between Two Slabs shirts and you want to support us and be one of the BTS Army members, right, at the next show, and support us, let me know. Hit me up on the DMs on Instagram, and we'll be able to get that out to you very soon. Okay.
All right.
Talk about before we get into. I want to hear about the Spear experience, but anything else you want to get into before that, Merlin?
No, man. That's just. The last time I saw you last week at Between Two Slabs at the Great Curator Man Cave Studio. And I also want to thank the viewers for all the great positive comments y'all left in the video on the Great Curators channel. So thank you. That we had a lot of great positive comments about our show last week. They loved our suits.
Yeah.
So it really made me warm and fuzzy as well. So thank you all.
How many downloads we got on that? It's
yeah, I know.
That was like usually like almost 2.5 times downloads that we usually get. So those live episodes, people love it. I think I don't know, the conversation's more organic, maybe. I don't know, but people seem to like it. So we will definitely be continuing to do that format for you guys and building on that. And we're open to suggestions on what you guys like to see and things like that. So leave it in the comment sections on those videos. And we definitely read all the comments, and I try to respond to all the comments. I actually respond to all the comments. Merlin never responded to anything.
No, I did. I haven't been. I've been very active. I did that all today. So that made me feel great today. So thank you all. Keep it up. That's what we need. Doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. Leave it anyway, and we'll talk more about that later. But it was a lot of positive stuff that makes me want to stay in this hobby and continuing to do Between Two Slabs. So thank y'all very much, and thank you everyone who reached out to me that said they missed me. So who was at the Burbank and asked where I was. That also made me feel warm and fuzzy all inside. So thank you again for that. I missed you all as well. Yes.
About you. A lot of people asked about you.
So thank y'all. But I had a great time, and it makes me feel needed. What's that?
I was telling people, like, everybody was like, "Where's Merlin? Where's Merlin?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought it was your birthday weekend." So I was like, "Oh,
no." Adrian said that. No, this was an early birthday present.
I said, "This was your birthday weekend." He's in Vegas. He's probably drunk in some type of strip club or something.
I can't drink anymore right now, man. Unfortunately, I had one vodka soda drink at the concert, but the venue is really amazing. I saw Weird Al Yankovic at the end. I didn't realize that you two some of the songs, but it was an amazing time.
I want to hear about your spear, but before we get into that, let me also just plug our latest travel video, travel interview series video that we did with Raphael, the Prism God. We posted that last Friday. Check that out, guys. We talk about these conversations that we're having. We're getting a little bit deeper conversations beyond the superficial hobby topics, talking about the business side of running a show, promoting a show, and talking about what it's like to kind of establish your footprint on the East Coast in Atlanta. Raphael, he's one of the most successful people in the hobby right now. He's built a really good brand with the Prism God brand and everything like that.
That's right.
Definitely try
Culture
to
Collision.
You guys. It's and Merlin cut it up really well. So we hope that you guys enjoy that. And the next interview video that we're gonna do is gonna be dropping soon, maybe this week, depending on
who are we gonna do. Who you want next?
Joe from Got Baseball Cards, guys. So that one will be dropping very soon. So check that out. In the meantime, check out the Prism God video. Okay, with that, Merlin, I will turn it over to you. Tell us about the spear.
The sphere was amazing. I don't know if you saw it. They did show a lot of highlights of it during the Super Bowl. But, man, that thing is a giant sphere projected video that's constantly changing. You can just sit outside and watch the sphere 24/7. I don't know how they afford the electric bill, but they do somehow. And I heard that U2 had to pay almost $10 million to have these visuals created and to have the sphere going. So if an entertainer has to perform the sphere, they've got to have a lot of money. But the place is going to be state-of-the-art. You're going to see a lot more spheres probably open up around the world, maybe LA soon, who knows. But it is something that is definitely FOMO. You do not want to miss. One of my close friends, my girlfriend, bought me tickets early for my birthday. We also had two of my actor friends who perform in Vegas, who are kind of like semi-retired now, but they went with us as well. They cried. It was so good. But if you saw my post on Instagram, the visuals are insane. I think it's like 8K, Dan. The visuals are. So it's like double 4K. So just think, there's so much things going on. I thought that would distract me from seeing actually be engaged with you two. Like I would just be engaged with the visuals. But, Bono and company are just so damn good. They're a master class of performing. that eventually you just kind of focus back on them again. But when something really pops, it pops. And oh my God, it was just so good. They sung all the hits. Like they did a cover of Crowded House, which I love. Don't Dream It's Over. You know that song, Dan? Don't
No.
Dream. I'll sing it to you later. And they did an actually cover of Weird Al, actually, and a few Rolling Stone songs. But man, if you have a chance to go before they finish in the next few weeks, go. I think the next act is Fish and then Dead and Company. I heard they're probably going to book Harry Styles in the next year as well. So that was rumor.
Imagine if they did like a Taylor Swift concert in there, how amazing that would be.
I'm sure they'll do it somewhere down the road. But I heard Harry is locked down. They just don't know when it's going to be yet. And then like Dead and Company. I'm not a big Dead fan, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people on acid in there. It's going to be very interesting. But, the thing is, I know you have been selling music. You were very successful this weekend with music. I've been doing very well with music. The U2 had some crazy merch there. They had the T-shirt like I saw, as you can see here, which is amazing.
Okay,
in the
cool.
back here. I hope I'm knocking stuff down. But they have They had like 12 different posters to make a set. We also had gone to Caesar. I don't know if the last time you were in Vegas, maybe the card show, Mint Collective with me. But they've opened up a new buffet place there called the Bacchanal. I don't know if you've heard it. It's like $100 a person. I ate 3 plates, Dan, of crab legs and lobster.
Wow.
I couldn't even get to the real meats. And the desserts, I cheated on Sunday and had some desserts. I actually ate a lot of, started eating some dim sum, but that aggravated in my head, of course. That wasn't a good idea, so I had to take my medication. But they also had an Adele store in there, too. But I wish I'd known it was only open for like 2 hours that day, and there was a show, and they're not even open again, the merch store, till another week. But she also had like posters and all kinds of cool merch in there that I could have bought and resold or taken the shows. But man, the posters were amazing, and they're only for like 2 weeks of whatever show that was for a week. So if you look on eBay or something, there are like maybe a dozen posters right now of hers. And I don't know when her concert ends. I don't know if you know either, but it ain't cheap. But the posters are like $40-$60, and they're reselling on eBay for like $200. The same with the U2 thing.
There is definitely opportunity in event merch, because I remember when we went to, we were talking to EJ about WrestleMania last year, and he was telling us that he was flipping WrestleMania T-shirts.
Right.
And then I've been buying Taylor Swift items from her Eras tour, at a premium. So there's definitely opportunity. If you go to these concerts and, you stand in line and buy up the merch, you can definitely flip it for people that want a piece of the experience, but they can't actually go themselves. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when I went to the Blackpink concert
at Dodger Stadium
a couple months ago, I was trying to buy the cards because they sell packs of cards there, but it was sold out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I remember that. So yeah, there is definitely opportunity there. That's another vertical people can jump into if you're listening to us. We just gave you a good idea right there.
I know, right? We spilled the beans right there, folks. But there's so much merch. The line was like an hour long. They're always super long. I think I'm going to take, actually, since I'm doing Collecticon with the show Locator, Donald, in a couple of weeks, I might actually bring some of my poster booklets and see if I can sell some posters, because I have a lot of doubles that I've collected the past 30 years of posters. So we'll see how they'll do.
Okay. All right.
Anything else?
Are you finished talking about that, Shane?
I am, man. So it was a lot of fun. Like I said, if you're in Vegas, don't miss out on the Sphere, guys. It is great.
Money.
The sound, oh my gosh. It was $500 per ticket, and we weren't even the best seats, man. We weren't in the best seats. It seats almost, I think, a little over 18,000 people. So it's about the size of the Hollywood Bowl. And it's breathtaking. It's next to the Venetian. I think you connect to the Venetian there. Mm-hmm. Where my friends only lived a block away. So we met them at their apartment, and we walked over. So we had a great time. But you don't want to miss it. And eat at the Bacchanal buffet for $100 a person.
Okay. I heard that they kind of phased out a lot of buffets in Vegas because like
Did they?
pandemic era. They closed
Well, I'm
down
sure, but they're back up, buddy. They're back up.
Interesting.
I know
Okay.
So it was delicious, but expensive.
Okay.
We were there, Marie and I were there. My girlfriend were there for 3 hours eating.
One little piece of news that I kind of wanted to talk about.
Oh, tell me, man.
This on Lamim James's post, but apparently the Prism Black 101 of Wembanyama was pulled by that famous. Well, I mean, I don't know if he's famous, but the well-known Chinese breaker, I forget what his name is, Logo Man or something, but he's always like shouting. He's got that really raspy voice that Chinese
really?
And he pulled the Wemby Black Logo Man. It's so funny. I love
when
it.
Was this? Was this at Burbank or just at
this
their
was like
place?
yesterday or something?
Oh my
gosh. So he
gosh.
just posted it. And I love seeing those videos of this guy screaming in Chinese with his raspy voice. But anyways, he pulled it. And then I guess the winner of that, the owner now, they posted it on eBay for how much? But best offer, buy it now or best offer. Guess
it's
how much?
Is it auto or not auto?
It's not all. It's base.
It's just a base one of one. Let me check.
It's a notorious one where he's got like a black curtain behind him, and people were making fun of the card because it looked really cheap. People were making fun of the photo.
It was a really bad photo.
Yes.
Okay.
But it is the black 1 of 1. Black border, black curtain, black uniform, 1 of 1 of Victor Wembanyama.
Let me guess. Is it 500,000?
You are right.
What? I swear to God. Oh my goodness. I'm just like, what would I price it at? I was trying to think.
Or best offer. So
wow. Okay.
It's like,
do you think that's expensive?
Yes, dude. I don't fucking. I think that
you know some celebrity or some person's gonna pay for that.
Card is not worth $500,000. I'm sorry.
How much do you think it's worth?
I don't know, dude. I mean, like, what is the base card? What is the black 101 base card from the Prism set of a very hyped up rookie worth? You know, like what do you think?
Well, I don't think the last time we had a rookie this hyped was probably Zion,
right? But let me quiz you real quick.
Okay.
Out of all the highlights and media that Wembanyama is getting, what do you think his current average of points is right now?
I think it's like
without looking it up, just tell me.
No. It's like 15 or something.
No, it's slightly better than that.
It is?
I just looked it up. He's averaging about 20 points.
Oh, okay.
10 rebounds. 20 points and 10 rebounds. So that's
great then.
That's good.
And his team's really shitty though. They're like the bottom, aren't they?
But you know, like a lot of players are averaging 25, close to 30 points a game. You know, it's like
he doesn't have a team.
That puts you on the upper echelon of players in the hobby, right? So like the question is anybody ballsy enough to spend a crazy amount of money on that rookie card? You know, is he gonna amount to anything? Is he gonna get better? Are they gonna win championships? I don't know, but I just think that's another one of those really crazy overhyped cards. They're probably, you know, all the auction houses are probably like chomping at the bit to try to get that card consigned to them. I'm sure it's gonna end up on Golden at some point. And they're gonna hype it up, and it'll probably go for like, my guess would be like it will go for like $150,000. That's what I think will happen.
You think so?
Yeah, that's what I think will happen. And they'll grade it, right? And they'll grade it. Maybe it comes back a 10 or something. I don't know. But
now, who's the player? So, because right now, who is it? Like Minnesota's in first, or who's in first right now in the West?
You know, we can talk about this too.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the All-Star game was just this past weekend.
Right, in Indianapolis, Indiana.
They're getting a lot of criticism because the All-Star game is just a joke right now. But I really don't watch a lot of basketball that much. I'm just a casual fan. I keep track of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really watch until they get to the playoffs because I just think basketball, it's not very entertaining for me. I grew up watching basketball in the 90s where it was like big centers dominated, right? Shaq, Hakeem, David Robinson, Ewing, all those guys. That was like what a team was based on. And it was all about like hard defense and physical play. And then it was like that all the way up until the Steph Curry era when the Splash Bros came in the 2000 teens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like everything's like a 3-point game now, like a 3-point contest to me. It's very boring. I don't know. I'm just
it's
not
just, it's just run and shoot.
I don't like seeing guys shoot 5 feet out from the 3-point line. They can do it. It's amazing, right? But it's just like every game, and then like even the big guys like Jokic, right? Wembanyama, right? Anthony Davis, right? All these 7-foot dudes are shooting 3-pointers now. It's just it's not very entertaining to me, right? And the
last 5-6 years though, it's been the big guys who have gotten the MVPs. It's been Doncic, it's been Giannis and Joel Embiid. Correct.
I'm just not a big fan of that game. Like the 3-point contest. It just seems too boring to me. You know what I mean?
Who won it? Do you even know? I don't even know who won it.
The 3-point contest?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know Steph Curry won the one where it was him against Sabrina, whatever her name is.
Okay.
The NBA. I don't know who actually won the 3-point contest beyond that. But yeah, I'm just not really into the game right now. I don't even know how we got on this topic, but I don't really care about it, to be honest.
Because we talked about the Wemby 1 of 1 getting the pull.
Yeah. So anyways, I would just like to see them stop shooting so many threes. I'm over the 3-point game. You know what I mean?
You want to see more power.
Yeah.
Muscle.
I want to see dunking and blocking, and I want to see like people get in there and show me a post game and things like that. I don't want to see these big dudes throwing up threes from the mid court and stuff like that. And because they're too good at it, it makes it look too easy. They're too good at it. They got into the point now where like it just happens routinely. You know what I mean? And it's not special anymore.
Yeah, I think that kind of all started in the All-Star game back in the day, and now the teams just do that in regular games.
Yeah,
where they just run and shoot. And
the All-Star game is so boring now. Even the slam dunk contest, which used to be my favorite thing to watch, it's so very boring. They got like G League dudes dunking in the contest, and we don't know who these people are.
There's G League guys dunking.
The guy who won it this year is now a 2-time slam dunk champion, and I think he's in the G League. He doesn't he gets called up for like 1 or 2 games a season, but he's not on like the main roster or anything like that.
That's not fair.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, you might as well just open it up to the public and have crazy street ballers go in there and
you never hear about it again. The guy again. That's it.
Weird. It's weird. Anyways,
that's terrible.
Anyways, let's move on from that topic. But
okay.
I just kind of thought
let us know if this thing gets sold and how much. If it does get they seal the deal, let's know what the final sell is.
I know, right? I'm sure some crazy hype will be around that, and we can talk more about that in the future. Okay, let's see. So let's talk about Burbank cards. Any other news you want to talk about before we get into?
No, man. I'm so excited because I haven't got to talk to you at all. I mean, basically, guys, this is the first time I've talked to Dan. Is live on the show on Between Two Slabs. So this will be the first. Just other than that, maybe a couple of texts he sent me during Vegas and seeing his Instagram post. That's all I know.
All right,
tell me more.
Burbank Card Show. This was my first time going to that venue, the
in Ontario
Convention Center, and I was a little bit. I gotta tell you, I'm just gonna be.
I know you were.
I was very pessimistic.
Apprehensive. Yes, you were.
About going into Burbank because my table was in the last row, facing the wall. Okay.
Right. And I know you and Adrian weren't happy about that at first.
Yeah,
you were a little worried.
We signed up late where that's the best place that they could put us facing the wall. So I was thinking to myself, this is going to suck. We're not going to get any good traffic. My last experience at Burbank was just kind of like, whatever, It was like, I made a little bit of money, but I expected to make a lot of money with what Burbank Cards is known for, which is bringing in a lot of buyers, liquidating, selling, a lot of transactional stuff. I was expecting to make a lot of money on that first one in Anaheim, and I just did okay. It wasn't great. I made a little bit of money, but it wasn't like what I was expecting. So with this Ontario one, I was kind of going in there with like low expectations. Okay. About what is, and plus because the table cost is $600. It's the most expensive show outside of the national in the country that I know of. So right off the bat, you got a lot of overhead that you got to cover. Luckily, since we live here, we don't have to pay for hotels and all that other stuff. But it's definitely something to think about, right? So, anyways, we get there, and right off the bat, we noticed that even though we were facing the wall, we were right in front of the doors on the side of the building.
Yeah, I saw that.
Where that would lead into the secondary room where PSA was. Okay.
Oh, so that was kind of like where the corporate booth area was?
Yes. And they opened that up, and I think Jay did me a favor. Jay is the promoter, director of logistics for the Burbank Card Show. And I think he did me a favor because he basically structured it where he would funnel all the people that are walking into the show through that door first. So that was not the main door. That was like on the side, but he funneled all those people through that side door first because he wanted them to go see PSA and all the corporate sponsors first.
Of course.
After they went into that room, they had to go into the main room, and my table and me and Adrian were right there in front of that door. So because of that, we got crazy traffic. It felt like the national, how much foot traffic that we were getting.
Oh, that's insane, man.
Because naturally people just walk through that door and we're the first table. So they look at our table.
I mean, basically that's the way it should be. They should go through the corporate area first, because in Anaheim, it wasn't that way. It was like way separate from each other.
Yeah. So because of that, the foot traffic was amazing. It felt like the national, we were just busy the whole time. I mean, barely, like I barely stepped away from my table at all because of how many people were coming to see us and just walking by. We didn't get to explore anything. We couldn't even go out. We couldn't get food or anything like that. It was crazy.
I saw that post of yours where you looked like you're about to pass out, and Trader Griff's Adam said he had to resuscitate you or whatever, perform CPR. Adrian was worried about you because he was like, you need to help you get here and seal this deal, dude, and you ran.
They were very strict. They're very organized with their show, but they're very strict. They don't allow food, outside drinks, or anything like that. We have to basically, we have to use the concession stand there, which is not that great. So that was a little bit inconvenient, but overall, a lot of foot traffic. Okay, so I was very happy with that, and right off the bat, it was super busy. The first night was preview night. I didn't really sell much there.
Yeah, I heard that. Everybody was the same way though.
Yeah. Friday, killed it on Friday. Saturday did really well. Trade night did really well. Sunday.
You did?
Well, yeah. So overall, it was a really good experience. A good show. A good show for me.
And how was Sunday?
Sunday, there were still a lot of people on Sunday.
Okay.
So we were making money on Sunday, and we made enough money to make the show worthwhile. For those people who are asking, me and Adrian had a bet. Adrian is CV Sports Cards. He's in the chat right now, guys.
Yeah, what was the bet?
On Instagram and YouTube if you can. But we had a bet. Our bet was whoever gets to $10,000 first has to buy the other person dinner. That was a little bit ambitious for both of us, to be honest, to think that we were going to sell $10,000 worth of cards.
That's crazy.
Which we didn't, guys. Neither of us got to that number. So then we adjusted it to whoever outsold the other person has to buy the person dinner. It seems counterintuitive that if you
and you're on honor code,
that you win, you buy the person dinner, But the way that we do things, guys, is like if you buy, it's like showing off basically. If you're treating somebody to dinner, we want to take care of each other. We're friends, so we want to kind of take the bill or take our friends out. That's just kind of like what we do. So anyways, we had that contest, and just to answer your question, I saw the sports card professor ask about this. Yes, I beat Adrian. I whooped his ass as if there was any doubt in the world. I beat you, Adrian. But not by much, guys. Not by much. But okay. But he was talking a lot of shit all weekend. Let me tell you, when you
Adrian, come on, dude.
You set up the Adrian. He was talking a lot of shit about my inventory. Can you believe that, Merlin? He's so snobby. Adrian is like
Adrian's making fun of your inventory. Does he not
yeah.
know better? What was he
yeah.
making? I'm sure what he was making fun of the Taylor Swifts. Obviously,
he's
first of all,
the K-pop cards, the Marvel cards, the Star Wars, wrestling.
Okay, then Adrian deserves to pay for your dinner then.
Because he has all vintage. He has all vintage baseball and basketball and 90s Jordan inserts, and he thinks he's the shit. And he was so confident that he was going to outsell me. Every time he sold a card.
He doesn't get the show much, man.
Every time he sold a card, he looked over to me. He's like, you see that?
I know.
These are real cards, he says, right?
Believe me, every time I saw one of your videos or your post, I saw Adrian looking over your shoulders always. Like,
I believe it. Every time I sold a K-pop card or a Taylor Swift album, he would look at me and he's like, who's buying that shit? Why would they buy that shit? Like, he couldn't believe it, right? Yes. But so he was talking a lot of shit the whole time.
You told him, man. You told him.
Okay, you know, like I'll let him talk because I knew the sales were coming in. And I knew I was going to have the last word or the last laugh, and I did. I beat him. So now I get to rub it in his face for eternity until we have the next Anaheim show or the next Burbank show in Anaheim.
Yes, I didn't know it was going to be back in Anaheim again. I got confused about that. So we'll be in your hood again. I'll be at your house.
Yeah, we already reserved the tables for that, but
I know we had to. You said,
yeah. So show was busy. We were selling a lot of stuff.
That's awesome.
Ass. Here's my observations, okay, about what was going on.
Okay, right? Please tell me, because since I wasn't there.
For me, right, I had taken a little bit different tactic this time. I brought a lot of photos. I bought a lot of entertainment type 3 photos, type 1s and type 3s, but ungraded.
Yeah, huge assortment, pretty much.
Yeah, unslabbed. So I had that up because I saw that you've been doing that.
Yeah, and I took a look at yours that you were going to sell for this weekend.
I put comic books, graded comic books.
Oh, you had some comic books too.
Yes.
And you had them like stacked on the table, or how were they?
Just spread out.
Okay.
I had Disney cards, Star Wars,
of course,
K-pop cards, the Blackpink K-pop cards,
wrestling.
I didn't have room for wrestling, so I put the wrestling out.
The wrestling cards?
Yeah, I had the wrestling in my back case behind me. So whenever anybody were asked, I would pull it out for them.
Oh, like in the shoebox or something.
Yeah, and then I had my dollar box cards and things like that. And so I was just trying to be different with my collection. And I had the graded AMG graded slabs. I'll pull one out.
Of the CDs and stuff. Correct?
Yeah.
Oh, you still have one available. I thought they were all gone, man.
I had 10 of these available. Okay, so I was just trying different things, basically. All right. So
did someone buy your 10?
No, not the 10 yet. But a lot of people were looking. Because they don't know how to value it, and I don't even know how to value it, to be honest.
So what did you sell of the AMG stuff?
We'll talk about that. So So this is what I noticed. Okay. My vintage Disney stuff got a little bit of looks, but not really anything. Like, nobody really cared about that.
This is a lot of stuff that we picked up in Atlanta.
Yes. So all the vintage Disney stuff, I thought it was going to be hot, popular, but not really. I didn't really get love. Star Wars got a little bit of love, but I don't have a lot of inventory, so it's not like people weren't really stopping by looking at my Star Wars.
Was this some like vintage Star Wars or modern or a mix?
Super Fractors. I probably have like 5 or 6 cards. But
and you pulled out some of your Super Fractors for sale.
Didn't really get any eyes on that.
Wow.
K-pop cards were hot. Everybody was stopping at my table.
K-pop's still on fire.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I just got a 33 card submission back, and I must have sold like 15 or 16 of those cards, so half of my inventory of K-pop cards I was selling. So that did really, really well. People love that. Now,
was this mainly like Blackpink, BTS? Was there some other stuff like
Blackpink and Twice? Those are the only 2.
Twice, okay. Because I know there's also them jeans or whatever they're called.
I only keep like the 2 main ones.
Okay.
So I had that. My Hello Kitty cards were killing it.
You still have a bunch of Hello Kitty cards? Because I thought you got wiped out in Dallas with the kitty cards.
I actually have. I have just a little bit left. But I put those out there, and everybody was stopping by buying the Hello Kitty stuff. So so that did really well. Wrestling was hot, dude. Like, everybody came to my table.
Okay, wait a minute. You throw me off. How was wrestling hot when you didn't even have it on the table?
people, because I don't know, like I had I don't know, like people know me for wrestling. People know me for wrestling. So they would come and ask me about wrestling. So I would constantly have to pull out my wrestling cards and put it on the table. And after the first day, after I did that like 6 or 7 times, I moved all my my Marvel and Star Wars out because they weren't getting really much love. And I put the wrestling in there. And the wrestling was like
good to know.
Some of my biggest sales were on the wrestling cards.
And was there anyone particular that was selling on fire? What, like The Rock or anyone else in particular? I know Liv Morgan's been picking up. Did you have like any of the females?
I kind of have like a limited selection in wrestling, to be honest. Okay. But Hogan, The Rock, Rhea, those were the hot ones that I was moving cards. I sold my Macho Man auto. I sold my Hulk Hogan Black 1-of-1.
Woo, really? That's a good one. Wow.
I did notice that Adrian, even though I did all that shit talking and humiliated him, he did give us a super chat sticker. So let's see what he's gonna say. You know, that gives him the right to talk a little shit like this here.
He said, Adrian says, Merlin, if you were there, he wouldn't hit what he hit. Why is that, Adrian? Why do you think Adrian's saying that? What's he mean?
Because if you would have been there, they would have been buying your photos and stuff, and they probably would have been looking at my table. That's what he's talking
they
about.
They would have ran out of money.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Adrian.
Okay. So let's get those comments up there.
Dang, you were on fire, man.
That I was.
But Adrian, you told me. But Adrian said he was on fire too, so it's not as bad.
He was doing well. Like I'll give him credit. He probably had like $8 like low end dollar box.
Okay.
Anywhere between like $1 to like $20 slabs and things like that, and raw cards. And people were just going through that the whole time. Like I think he told me he sold like 500 or 600 cards at that show.
What?
That's a lot of inventory.
That's great.
For sure. So he was doing well. So I'll give him credit. But the thing is, he was selling like $500 or $600 cards. Okay. Well, I was my stuff was a little bit higher end stuff, but not by much.
So again, of the AMG stuff, what did you sell?
Oh, okay. So I had the AMG stuff. I had 6 of these Lover albums. Okay. Here's an interesting observation.
Different grades.
Mostly 7s and 8s. Mostly 7 and 8. Okay. So let me pull something real quick.
Because I saw our friend Dave there, who buys a lot of the Star Jordans, and he was behind you on one of the videos. So I thought he was the one who bought the graded 10 one of yours.
No. He was looking at it, but he bought one of these for his wife.
Right, because he bought one of my photos once.
So I had like 6 of these, and I had 4 of these type of albums, but different covers. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Just from different albums. And here's what I noticed. This is the really fascinating thing. So nobody else had AMG stuff. I think a couple people maybe had like some hip hop stuff, but nobody had any Taylor Swift AMG items. I'm the first one to really put this out there at a trade show and give it some exposure. Okay.
Love it.
I did it because I wanted to see what the feedback would be on these things. Okay.
Of course.
A lot of people don't know what AMG is, even though it's Steve Aoki's company. A lot of people don't know what AMG is. So if anybody from AMG is watching, you got to do better on your marketing, because people don't know that grading music is a thing. They don't know that exists, even though they've been around for over a year now. Okay. But what I notice is that eye appeal matters. Okay. Eye appeal matters.
Yes.
When you put these two things together, my personal opinion is that this pink one, the bigger one with Taylor Swift, and it's pink and it says Lover, my personal opinion is that this looks better. Okay.
It has the colors and everything. There's so much to see.
Plays better than this. And the other ones I have are similar to this, where there's just a picture of her, but nothing like really pops like this one. Everybody was looking at this album, even though that I don't even think that this is her best-selling album, Lover. I'm not sure.
No, it's not.
I think it's
1989 is the best.
Yeah, and I had
by far.
I had 3 or 4 other of these 1989 covers with different pictures on them, but everybody was going for this one. So eye appeal and display matters over the subject matter of the album. Okay, So they're all Taylor Swift albums, and all of them are different albums. And some of them are like 1989, Fearless, Folklore, which are
Fearless
more
is good.
popular
Yep.
items. But
And her
everybody
self-titled one of Most 6. I don't know if you have that one or not.
everybody's going for this one right here, okay? And who do you think was the type of demographic that was most interested in looking at this? Who would you think?
Fathers.
I guess you could say fathers. So that's kind of a good.
Or is that too broad?
I wouldn't say fathers. I would say
Okay.
men. Men were
Okay.
looking at this, and the most common comment that I got on this is like, "Wow, that's cool. My wife would
Yes.
love that." Okay, my partner would love that. So
Yes.
I sold how many of these? So I sold like 4 of them to people buying it for their wives. So that's the biggest takeaway here is that
But
people
they really want it for themselves, though.
They were
Come on,
really
we know the
interested in
truth.
this.
We know the truth.
Yeah, they were really interested in this Taylor Swift graded collectible. They weren't sure on the value.
I
of
even
it.
like the sticker on the side, on the top side over there.
But
No,
this-
the one right here on the album itself.
Oh, this.
that's
Oh, yeah.
actually-
This is a Target exclusive. That's why.
Gotcha.
That is right. But a lot of people were interested in this. Pretty much everybody that stopped at my table, this was the first thing that they looked at, or the reason that they stopped at my table. So,
So it was a nice lure, then, is what you're saying.
yes, and it was like, what does it say? It was what do you call it? A conversation starter.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
This is-
Exactly.
Well, that's what I learned from
An
from this.
icebreaker.
And I think if I do it again, like when I
Yeah, what would you do if you do it again? What would you do?
I wouldn't get these albums, even though they're smaller. I wouldn't get these ones
That
because
being the regular CDs. Like this is kind of a exclusive box set kind of thing,
this
right?
is a box set because eye appeal matters. That's
Mhm.
what I learned. Okay, so my experiment here is I got 10 albums, 6 of the Lover albums, and 4 of these different type ones here.
Now the Lover probably costs more on retail anyway, does it?
Yes, a little bit more, but it's not that much.
Okay.
It's not
Oh,
that
really?
much.
Okay.
And I already made my money back. Okay, on
Good.
everything with the ones that I sold. I already
Even with the overhead.
Yes. So I still have like 4 pieces left here, and I will sell those. By the time I get to Dallas, I'll sell all of them. I'm sure of it. But here's what I learned.
Okay.
So this emerging market of grading music, people are very interested in it. Okay, but there's no established price on it, right? There's no established like fair market values for these
Just
things
like
yet.
when we sell our photos.
Yeah, so it's still going there. So you can't ask for like a lot of money. You can't ask for like $1,000 for this, right? Because
Of course.
there's no comps, there's nothing like that. People don't understand it. They're not going to see the value.
And it's too like scary for them to risk that much.
Yeah, I was selling the 7s for 150, and I was selling the,
Oh wow. Okay.
the 8s for 200.
Okay.
And even though that can be considered a lot of money to some people, it was reasonable to the people that bought these from me. So that's kind of like the price range that I'm seeing.
And how much is the overhead on grading cost?
$300 to $500. What?
How much is the overhead on grading?
It's like $60 shipping.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah, so not too bad. Okay, more than a card, but it's bigger, so that's why. But anyways, eye appeal is my biggest takeaway. Is eye appeal matters with this. So if I had to do it again,
Yes,
I would just buy all 10 of these and put them out on my table because that's what was getting people to stop. It was almost like an afterthought where people weren't even looking at these ones or the other ones that I have, right? Because this one is just so much more visually appealing in my eyes here. But
Yeah, I mean
these
that
were
one almost looks like a comic book almost if you think about it.
yeah, these were definitely a hit. So I think that I might experiment and try to do some more music grading because I do see a play there for sure. And it's still such a new market that you can get in there and you can be first to market on, a lot of things. So if you know music and you know what people like, whatever bands, 90s hip hop, rock bands, whatever. If you understand that market like you do, Merlin.
That's why I've been buying these babies up. You see how I've been selling these out? Because these are One Direction boxes from 2013.
Panini makes those? That's funny.
Panini, they make from 2013. And if you don't know, every one of these guys has become successful individually as well.
Yeah. So anyways, so I definitely think there's a play there for people. If you know music and you know the demographic that likes that type of music, there's definitely a play there. So that
Yeah,
did really
but
well.
music is universal. People
That
love
did
so
really
much
well
music.
for me. The type photos did not do well at all.
Oh, that was my next question.
Yeah.
So the raw photos didn't sell for you?
No, and I had them taking up like half of my table too.
That's
so
crazy.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's the SoCal market that doesn't understand it, or if I just didn't display it
have the right things.
Yeah. So I mean, I had some cool stuff, dude. Like
you did. I took a look at it. You showed them to me last week.
Let me show you some of this stuff.
Okay, yeah, show me, please. But you gave me you want me to look at them last week, and I thought you would do well.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay, who doesn't love Van Damme? Here's Rocky. Right,
that's a beautiful photo, Rocky.
The Terminator. Okay, and some of these have a lot of really good DNA on the back. These are just not like
exactly
like press photos,
I'll bring them to Dallas, man.
Check this out here. Power Rangers.
I love how you have the yellow tags on them.
Okay, wrestling, Von Erich.
Well, you bring that to Dallas, that'll be gone in a day, man.
Universal Soldier, Rambo. So I had some cool stuff, right?
Yeah, bring the Von Erichs to Dallas. That will sell in a heartbeat.
It didn't really move. So
how about the slabbed ones?
I had my Mike Tyson, which that did sell.
Oh, it did?
I finally sold my Mike Tyson type photo where he was wearing the chef hat.
God, you've had that forever.
I know. And then
I'm surprised you never gave that to an auction house. You decided you were going to keep that every single time.
I forgot. I was going to give it to Golden last time, but I forgot to bring it to Dallas that time.
Oh, thank goodness. Were you happy with the sell?
Oh yeah. I got a good price on that. Got a good price on that for sure. So type photos did not really sell at the show. And comic books. The comic books that I brought.
Next question. Yes, comic books. How was that?
They were like Silver Age comic books.
Look at that one, man.
Like this is Juggernaut's first appearance.
Yes.
Very reasonably priced, anywhere between like $100 to this one I have at $1,600.
$1,600?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful.
So, I thought the comic books would do better, but again, they got a lot of attention. People like them, but it just wasn't a comic book market where people were willing to spend money on slab comic books. So that didn't do as well as I thought. Okay. And then so yeah, that was basically my takeaways there. K-pop did really well. Anything like girly, basically. K-pop.
Dan's just gonna switch to girly stuff from now on.
I told you this in Austin, and I'm leaning more into it, but cute things sell.
That's true, man.
If you want to make money, get things that are cute.
Yeah, don't laugh at this guy. He's telling the truth, man.
I'm making money, guys. You make fun of me, okay? But let me tell you, everybody's got modern sports cards. Everybody got vintage cards and things like that. But these guys, they're also looking for gifts for their wives, their sisters, their daughters, their girlfriends, or whatever, right?
I mean, these card conventions are majority of a men's world, but the men are buying these cute items, like Dan says.
All the girls were stopping at my table. They were buying my stuff. So that stuff was my biggest seller. If I didn't have these things, there's no way I would have whooped Adrian's butt. Okay, for sure. Because the Star Wars was not really moving. The wrestling did well, but everything else was just.
Did you have any Marvel besides comics? Or did you have cards too?
A few cards, just like low end stuff.
And what was your biggest? Now, did you sell sports cards too? Since we're at a sports card show,
I sold a vintage Dodgers exhibit card, 1952 Dodgers team exhibit card
with Jackie Robinson.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. That I've had that for a while. So
you have.
But that was it. I think a lot of people were looking at my Kobe.
Yes. Okay. That was my next question. Did you sell the Kobe?
No, I didn't.
Still have it.
Still have it, but I got close.
How many nibbles?
My best offer on this at Atlanta was $4,500.
Okay.
My best offer on this was $47 plus trade on this.
$4,700 plus trade?
Plus trade, but
and
just like
what happened here?
I don't want to take trade on it. Okay. I want to.
I mean, was it $4,700 in trade or $4,700
cash? $4,700 cash plus a little bit in trade.
But it wasn't anything you liked.
No, I don't want to deal with that because I'm trying to find the perfect ending for the story. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too ambitious on this. I don't know, but I feel like I'm not in a hurry to move it right away. I had people willing to trade me like 2,500 cash and a $3,000 Magic Bird rookie. I forget what grade 8 or something like that.
So you're willing to have patience on this card.
Yes, because the story, for me to complete the story on this, everybody was asking about this. Everybody's following the story on this Kobe Platinum Portrait card. They love it. I got so many compliments on this, and so many people wanted to look at this card and hold this card and take pictures of it. But the perfect end to this story for me is if I can find the right buyer willing to pay me all cash and I can get my number on this card on this. So
nice.
So 47, that's the new, 47 plus trade. That's like the new the number that I'm kind of working with, but I'm trying to get a little bit more. I'm trying to get just a little bit more on this.
I thought that was going to be gone this weekend. I really did.
I had some people, but and some people were kind of talking to me about it, but nobody was really willing to pull the trigger on this. But we'll see. We'll see. We're going to shop it around a little bit more, and we'll see what happens with this. Okay.
Even people were like messaging me saying they really thought you were going to sell that this weekend.
Yes. I feel like at some point, maybe even if I have to hold this all the way to the national, I feel like I'm going to find the right buyer
eventually
for this. Okay. So we're cool.
Could that go up in cost by that point?
It could. We'll see. If this gets to the national, I might ask for like 6,500 at the national.
Okay, wow.
And see what the best offer is on that, but we'll see.
And so what was your best sell?
My Macho Man auto, 94 action pack Macho Man auto. I sold that for $1,750.
Gotcha. Oh man. Okay, good job, man.
I did a lot of little sales. I was like really getting, $50 to like $100 to $200 sales, and they were just kind of stacked.
But you didn't have that like Jordan rookie you sold, or what else did you sell the last show we did?
The big sales was the Jordan rookie, and
then we were in Atlanta, the trade night.
Mark Hamill Star Wars card.
Right.
Yeah, so those were the big sales. But overall, that's kind of like the inventory that was moving at that show. The energy was really good. There was a lot of people there. People were spending money. Good traffic all the way through. Very organized.
You're saying that you liked this show prior versus the first one you did last year in Anaheim.
Much better. Even though Anaheim's closer to me, it was just
it's right down the street.
It was just easier to get to this show. Like you just drive there. It was like a half hour, 40-minute drive for me. You park right away. It takes you like 3 minutes to walk into the building. There's no stairs or anything like that. It was just way easier to be there versus Anaheim and the
Anaheim's tough.
Yeah. But overall, I think it was a really successful show. The trade nights were fun.
Everybody seemed happy.
Yeah. The trade nights are actually kind of small. Like the areas that they have are a little kind of small, to be honest. But it still worked. It still worked really well. And
now, was there any negative drama? I know we hate talking about it, but was there anything that you saw? Was anybody unhappy about something, or was there was there any drama? Just out of curiosity.
At the show, there was no drama at all.
Okay, good.
It was very well run, very professional. I will say this: there was an incident that happened. If you want, I'll tell you about it later. But
okay.
I will say this: what was really, really, really cool that I wish that you could have been there to experience.
What was that?
Was the amount of feedback I don't know if it's not feedback is the right word, but the amount of people that came up to me to shake my hand, to take pictures, to tell me
response.
To tell me how much they appreciate the content that I produce and that we produce on Between Two Slabs was really awesome. I mean, there must have been at least 50 people that came up to me.
That's great.
And just wanted to hang out and talk and take pictures. And some people were giving me gifts and things like that. So I thought that was really cool. And what was interesting is that, we're in SoCal, and I thought I knew everybody in SoCal.
And you don't?
But I guess the show brought in a lot of people from outside the SoCal area, right? Still in California, but not within our little bubble here in SoCal. So it was really cool to meet a lot of new people, a lot of people that support us and viewers. And I just wonder if this was like the first opportunity that I would run into these people at the show, or if it has to do with like all those negative videos that those idiots are putting out of me, maybe that just makes people want to come up and try to support me somehow. Because I got asked at least like 5 or 6 different times. I got asked like, what's up with you and this guy? You know, why is this guy doing this to you? Why is it, you know,
what guy's doing what to you?
Talking shit. You know, why these
Wait a minute,
guys?
is there someone at the show talking shit to you?
No, I'm talking about those videos.
What videos?
You know, like Dan the car guy and all those videos.
Oh, those videos. Okay.
Shit that they make.
Now I did see something else about like someone threatening you, but you took it down, so I didn't get to show it to Maria.
Let's we'll get into that.
Okay. Am I too soon with that?
But I will say, like, I thought like that was very awesome. It was humbling.
Okay.
It was humbling, and if you were there, you would have got that type of praise.
Well, like,
too.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying, that people, I guess, who had come to your booth hoping to see both of us of Between Two Slabs, they told me, they messaged a lot of people. I got so many messages this weekend, Dan, and people just want to say hello to me because they said they came to the show hoping to see both of us, but they only get to see you, which is, I guess, fine with them. But they were glad to see you, but they wouldn't let me know that they came to see both of us. And then you told them that I was in Vegas, so they were hoping that I had a great time, but they missed me, and they hope to see me again soon, either at the next show or the next Anaheim show. So I said, well, thank you very much. Thank you for reaching out and letting me know. That makes me feel very special. So yeah, those are the people. That's what this is about, right? I mean, this is why we do this, because this means more to us than money. We always make money, even with our real jobs or whatever else we're doing. I mean, it's always great to make a lot of money, of course. That's the challenge. That's the sport of it. But the real thing is, what keeps us motivated to keep doing this is the people. Is the camaraderie, the community.
The community and the people are so important in the hobby, and I don't think the powers that be realize that. Okay, and let's get into this. Okay, let's get into it. Because like trading cards, that's like the commodity that keeps us in the game. That's what this is. Like, that's the theme of everything. Mm-hmm. But really, it's the people that you interact with, that you become friends with, that you do deals and transactions with. That's what really is the hobby. If anybody was asked you to describe the hobby, you would have to say it's really about the people, right? And the Burbank Card Show is a good example of this. Okay, so Burbank Card Show, these guys, Burbank Sports Cards, and Jay and his partners, they take the time to organize this huge event where they bring in people from all over the place. I met a lot of international people there, like people from people from Singapore, China, Guam, JR, my friend.
You mean they actually came here from those countries?
Germany, the UK, all sorts, people from all over the world, people from all over the country, Canada. They were all there congregating in this event, right? So interesting to meet these people from different cultures and everything. And we spend all day at the show. You know, the show goes from like 9 a.m. to like 7 o'clock, all day there. And at night, they do the trade night. They did 2 trade nights. First time I've ever been
Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, first time I've ever been to a card show where there's 2 sponsored official trade nights in the building.
Oh, wow.
Super convenient. So on Friday and Saturday night, there was trade shows there, and everybody's hanging out. After the card show, everybody goes upstairs and they go straight to the trade night. They set up their tables and we sit there till like 11, 12 o'clock at night, right? And that's the hobby, dude. Like, that's nothing new. Every show we go to, Dallas, Atlanta, the National, whatever, right? It's always the same type of thing. It's like we work the show all day long, and then we go to trade night all night long, right? And it's like, if you look at any type of other industry where there's a trade show, like, they don't do that, right? They go to the show, and then afterwards that's it. Then they come back the next day. They don't like live this lifestyle like we do, right? And for us as people in the hobby that love this, it's like second nature to us. We wouldn't want to do anything else. But the interesting observation that I want to make here is that the industry professionals, the people
Right.
that are in charge, the guys that work at PSA, Beckett, Panini, Pops, Fanatics, you don't really see these guys living that type of lifestyle. You don't really see these guys that hardcore. Some of them are, like I saw some guys from PSA at trade night, things like that. But I didn't really see like Tops people. I didn't see Fanatics people. I didn't see Panini people hanging out with the people at trade night, right? And I think that I feel like, if you want to really understand the hobby and you really want to make products that sell well and appeal to the masses, it makes people happy and things like that, you got to be in the thick of it. You got to be in the trenches with the common people like us. You can't just like go to a trade show, spend a couple hours there, walking the floor, shaking hands, taking meetings or whatever, and then go home. You can't treat it like a job. You know what I mean? This is a conversation I had with a seasoned veteran in the hobby back in Dallas that really resonated in my head. He said to me, look, me and you, we're like, this was at trade night in Dallas, like at 11 p.m. trade night in Dallas. He said, look, me and you, we were here all day and now we're here all night. You're live streaming right now. You're doing your thing. We live the hobby, 50, 60 hours a week, sometimes 70 hours a week. We live the hobby.
Right. Where's
the Fanatics guys? Where's the Panini guys? For them, this is just like a 9-to-5 job. And that's fine. You can treat it like a job, but how are you going to tell us how the hobby is going to be run? How are you going to tell us how you're going to 10x the hobby or what we want or what we like when you're not even in it? Like
you're not even there.
And that was very apparent to me at the Burbank Card Show. Like they organized this huge, massive event, big sponsors. Everybody who was anybody in the hobby was there at that show, but the industry professionals, the people that are in charge of everything that we hold dear, were not really there to be seen. You know what I mean? Maybe they were. Maybe I'm just like a nobody and nobody came to my table and I didn't see anybody. But I'm just saying, like, that's just my observation. You know what I mean? From that.
I know every now and then people will come and introduce themselves to us and tell us they work for those companies and they just want to say hello and they've heard about us and things like that.
Right.
But for the most part, they kind of don't, because I don't think they're really around the floor.
We do have a super chat sticker from
Michael Gramps here. He was messaging me left and right how much he and his wife missed me, and he wishes he could sold a lot more Star Wars cards. He said, Michael Alcorn says, "Night guys, East Coast Gramps, you're awesome. It's about the relationships." Yes. 100%. We built a relationship with this gentleman here. Mike and I are, I'm not a Gramps yet like he is. But we're the same age, Gramps and I are. Basically, I think he's like a year older than me. But it's a pleasure talking to him, and love that his wife shared with me that they love concerts like me and my girlfriend do. Yeah,
Gramps is really cool. He would walk by my table every day, and he was wearing a different Star Wars, like a Roosevelt shirt that you get me. He was wearing a different one every day. It was really cool.
He has one too?
He's got really cool ones too.
Awesome.
Really cool ones. So it was great to see him again. I hope we get to see him soon.
I know. I told him I want to see him again soon too. We should come to Dallas.
Make it out to Dallas sometime.
I know.
Dallas. That's a closer drive for you.
Where's he live? Michigan?
Florida.
Florida. That's right. He used to live in Michigan, I think.
Yeah. But anyways, that's like the major takeaway that I get from these shows is like we try so hard as a community, right? We try so hard to build this up, and we've taken it collectively. We've taken the hobby to the highest levels that it's ever been. Okay,
exactly. And I think the most important thing is what you're saying to the audience is we're not doing this because we have to. We're doing this because we want to.
Because we love it. We love it, right? And I think
we don't have to do it.
What's happened in the hobby in the last 3 years in terms of growth?
Yes.
That credit has to be given to the people, the community. Tops, Panini, and even Fanatics, they did not grow the hobby to where it is today. It's the people that organize these shows, the promoters, the trade shows, the people that built breaking businesses, the people that built online sales on eBay and spent all this money in auction houses, you know, like we are the driving force behind the growth of the hobby. So it would be, I think it would be prudent for these companies that are kind of like in charge of driving the ship here, if they were to spend more time, you know, with us, with the common folk, you know what I mean? Like I was talking to our friend EJ, and he's actually,
EJ was back here this weekend as well.
Of course, EJ is not,
did he set up, or what's he doing?
He's with Fanatics now. He's with Fanatics.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah. So he is actually the liaison and in charge of their live events now. Okay.
Okay. And EJ's like me though. He's a very social guy. So was he out on the floor?
Good. I think he's going to be really good for them because he's one of us. He's not some corporate outsider that they brought in and they put in this position and they don't understand anything about the hobby. He's one of us. So I think, and he was there. He was at trade night. He was doing all that stuff.
Yes.
So I think
EJ's like us, man.
Yeah. I think he's the start of where this is going. If they're going to hire, like if you want to hire somebody that's going to love their job, love their position, and
knows everyone,
go above and beyond for that position.
So true.
You should be recruiting at these trade nights, at these shows, right?
Yes.
Like Fanatics or Panini, they should have recruitment booths at these shows, taking applications from people and saying, hey, you want to work with us? You know, we have this position, or whatever.
Yeah.
They should be hiring within the community, not bringing in like people that don't really understand the hobby. You know what I mean?
They need to try to find the true definition of fanatics.
Yes, exactly. They're called fanatics for crying out loud, right? They should be hiring from within the community of people. I mean, like, I guess I don't know if they have like specific job qualification, education levels and things like that, but who cares? Throw all that stuff out the window, right? Who cares? People can learn that stuff, but what you can't learn is you can't learn how to be super passionate about the hobby like we are, right? So that's kind of a big takeaway that I got from that just an interesting observation I wanted to make there. I think that I went on a rant and I totally forgot.
No, I love it. I love hearing this rant. Believe me.
But anything else you want to ask me about Burbank cards before we get into the main topic?
So did you have any big sales at Trade Night?
Not really. Just like moving little things here. But, you know, Trade Night always does well because we can always just move inventory.
And did you see a lot of our like gypsy friends that we see at all the shows?
Of course. I saw all the people from the traveling circus, you know. Everybody Roth Card was there. Prism
God there? Was Prism God?
Of course, he was there.
He was, okay. I didn't know he was out of country or what.
Josh, Sports Card Plaza was there, you know.
Okay.
Mojo was there.
I saw their post.
All the regular people were there.
And my buddy Kelly was there, ripping list.
Kelly was there. He didn't say hi to me. I don't think he likes me anymore because I wouldn't.
Was James there?
Overpay for the Sergeant Slaughter Garbage Pail Kids sketch card, but he was there. So I saw him for sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So overall, just a very, very well run show. Oh, you know what was really funny too?
What's that?
Donald was there, of course.
Okay. And how was he doing?
He was working in the official capacity now because for people who
don't
know.
The official capacity?
He works for them. He works for Burbank Cards now. So
for who?
Burbank's Cards. Come on.
Okay. No, I didn't know what you were. Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Dan. You were clipping or something.
So, like, for people who don't know, Donald is the show Locator on Instagram. And
he doesn't want people to tell you that, man.
Too late.
We're screwed. We're gonna get a bad table now.
So he's such an enigma in the hobby because he's been in the hobby. He's like an OG. He's been setting up for 30.
He knows everybody.
He's been setting up at the National for 30 plus years, right? But for as long as I've known him for the last 3-4 years or now, so whenever he sets up at a show, he doesn't really set up at a show. Like he has a table, he puts some stuff out. He doesn't really have anything priced. He doesn't really sit at his table to sell stuff. I've actually never seen him sell anything, to be honest.
Well, because Donald's one of those people who is so worried to make other people happy. He wants everyone to be happy that I think he doesn't get himself happy, or he's stressed out a lot about it.
Whenever he's at a show, he doesn't work the table. he works the show.
Yes.
He goes around, he buys
even when he doesn't have to work the show, he's working the show.
He buys people food. He's
so nice.
He takes people to other people's tables that are asking for specific cards that he knows they have.
Yes.
He breaks down tables and chairs, and he's just super helpful, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't work for the show at all. Like, he's just helping, and at his own expense, he does it for whatever reason. I don't know. Like, he's the most altruistic person in the hobby, I think. Anyways, but he's always stressed out. He's always like very like, I don't know, just he's always
but in a nice way.
You would think that
you can't tell until you talk to him.
You would think that he was the promoter of the show and he wanted everything to be perfect. That's how he always looks. And but here this time at the Burbank Card Show, he actually was part of the team. He had the shirt on, and I think he has an official title with them and everything like that.
He does. And
I gotta tell you, he was like in his element when he didn't have his
was. I saw a lot of photos taken with other people, and he had a huge smile on his face.
He had a smile on his face for the first time ever. Like, he's usually like all like kind of like like nervous, and he looks like he's stressed.
Just quiet, very quiet. Yes,
he was walking around with confidence and purpose, and he was directing people and telling them what to do, and he loved it. I feel like that's his element. That is.
I mean, if he didn't want to do this, he wouldn't do this.
Yeah,
but he does do it.
So that was just really funny. Every time I saw him, he said hello to me.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
So it was great, and I got to meet his family again. His son looks just like him.
I knew his son was going to help out.
Yeah, and his wife was there.
Yes,
so
I knew she was going to be there. I talked to him like a day or two before I left.
Yeah, and then Jay was there. I met Jay. I got to give him a shout out too. You know what's funny? So in the beginning, I told you that I was worried about our table placement, right?
Yes.
I told Jay, me and Adrian, we called Jay, and we're like, Jay, I think we're not going to take our table spot because we don't want to be staring at the wall. And we canceled it. We actually said, hey, give us our money back. We want to cancel. And Jay took the time to call me, and he's like, look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to funnel everybody through that door. You are going to be the first table there. That will be the best table. Believe me. And when he told me that, I was just thinking that
you seemed kind of apprehensive about it.
I was just thinking that he was just trying to sell me the table.
Yes, I could tell.
And I was like, man, I don't know. I don't want to do this. So I was just like, I didn't believe him anyways, right?
You were like, I think maybe because I bought my table way too late.
Yeah. But obviously when the show happened, everybody was coming to our table. It was crazy. And then like on like Saturday night or Sunday, he came by and he walked like all slowly, and he's like, so you want to cancel your table now? He was like,
and then Dad like immediately Sunday night goes, Merlin, I've already paid for our booth for the next one.
He was saying,
thank God.
I told you so. And you know what I said when he came by and said that to me? You know what I said?
What's that?
I said, Jay, I never wanted to cancel a table. It was Adrian. It was Adrian this whole time that didn't want to cancel the table. I said this was going to be the best spot. And
both of y'all were freaking out before the or Friday, or was it Thursday? Was that the preview night?
Yeah.
On Thursday, they were all freaking like, I don't know if this is going to be a good show or not.
Yeah.
No, and then all of a sudden Friday, both of y'all were just like, oh my God. I was like, okay, good.
But Thursday didn't open those doors. That's why. Thursday they didn't open those doors.
Oh, for preview night, they didn't. Yeah. Okay.
But so
and then things changed on Friday.
I'll give him credit for that. I'll give him credit. And
you got teased, dude. You got teased.
Yeah, I did. Okay. So overall, great show. I got to really give applause to everybody involved. I would highly recommend people go to the Anaheim one, and then especially this Ontario space. It's a great space. You should definitely make time to go out there.
Now, do you know anything? Are they going to make any changes for the next Anaheim show? Because I know they had some logistical issues of the design. Is there anything they're going to change next time that you may know of?
From what I've been told from my insider source is that they're going to do away with the bottom floor.
Thank God.
It's not going to be the corporate booths down there anymore.
Okay.
They're going to completely do away with it. They're going to have it maybe as a activity center. They might put a basketball court down there or whatever.
Okay.
But they're not going to have it as a separate floor that people would go to look at vendors. Everything's going to be on top. Okay.
Okay, good. That's the way it should be. Make it more accessible for everybody.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting how they do the show plan, which is cool because I like how they're listening to feedback, from the first time that we did it.
Because I was surprised I guess maybe they had to sign a contract because I was surprised they're even going to go back to Anaheim.
3 or 5 year contract with them or something like that.
But they didn't lose any of the corporate vendors this time because of the last time, did they?
I don't think so. I mean, their show is so established right now, even though it's only been a couple years, that the corporate booths have to be there. They have
agree. That's what I was worried about because I felt like the Anaheim logistically was a nightmare and that it may have ruined things, but it sounds like to me they went back up to A+ level from the show.
Definitely, I would say they're one of the best shows in the country right now.
That's good.
Rivaling Dallas. I mean, it's hard for me to say that they're not better than Dallas right now, but Dallas is a little bit of a different show. Dallas now has evolved into where they've got autograph guests and they do all sorts of other, other things there. But I got to say that the Burbank show is like one of the top 3 shows.
But they're going to stay like doing 2 shows per year versus like every other month.
That's what I like. That's what I like about Burbank too. Like a big criticism I've always had for Dallas is they're just too many shows. Six shows a year plus their new pop culture show that they're doing every other month.
Right. Now, that's worried if they're going to lose steam from all this.
It's too much. The only thing though about Dallas is that it is less expensive, which is great, and they have a better venue.
But they went up in price though.
I guess so. I don't know. For
most dealers,
it's still cheaper than
Burbank.
Burbank gets $600 a table. That's too much.
But it's twice a year though.
Yeah. Still.
I mean, I can't afford that every other month.
That's like nearly double what Dallas is charging. But Dallas has a better venue because it has a hotel connected to the convention center.
Right. And it's outside of the city limits. Whereas because that makes everybody's there at the Marriott or the nearby hotels, which are pretty much walking distance. So everybody stays at the Marriott 24/7. And they don't kick people out. So people can stay up till the wee hours of the morning like you have had before.
Yeah. So they're neck and neck, right? Like 1A, 1B in terms of the best shows in the country that I've been to.
Right.
Okay. Anything else?
That's awesome.
Okay. So let's move on from this here because we want to make sure that.
I was going to ask you. So because I saw those promo card things, the slabs that Tag did, were you impressed with that? How did that sell well?
Yeah, they like. So this is really funny about this.
I saw everybody posting those.
Let me just tell you. Okay, so as a promotion, Tag grading was taking photos of people. They were taking the photos and putting it into like an AI filter that made them into like an anime, like cartoon character like this, right?
Right.
And they were printing the photos and making slabs of this.
Mm-hmm.
That was their gimmick, right? And it's a really cool concept, really interesting. Everybody always wants their own card, right? So this is awesome. The idea was great, but the execution was fucked up. Oh my God.
What do you mean? I didn't know this. What happened?
So the idea was I was talking to the card father before, and he was telling me that this was going to happen. This was on a Thursday night.
Okay.
And I said, are they going to be able to like get this done? I mean, that's a lot of people that you're going to be able to do this, right? How are they going to do it? How are they going to figure it out? And he was telling me, Tag, they're going to have it down to like, try to get it down to under like 3 minutes to take the picture, print the card, slab it up. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So everybody will be able to get this, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was not the case at all. The lines to get one of these was like 2 to 2.5 hours long. Okay. And that's just to pay for the card and to take the photo.
Okay. But did you have, since you were a vendor, did you have to pay for it?
I did.
Oh, you did? How much was it?
It started off as $22. And then they raised the price, those bastards. That's another thing I didn't like. So anyways, it took 2.5 hours waiting in line to just take the damn picture.
Good God.
And then you had to come back the next day to get the card. And then on Sunday, they started to say that they have to mail the card to people. So you have to pay for shipping now. Okay, so they raised the demand on this was so high that they just raised the price for no reason other than to make more money.
Okay.
And then they couldn't meet the demand, and then they had to charge people shipping for this. So the whole thing was fucked up. Yeah. Great idea, but the concept was messed up, and apparently they're rolling this out as a new service on their website. So like, if you couldn't attend the show, you can get it yourself. But that kind of defeats the whole purpose, right? Because it was supposed to be like an exclusive for Burbank card show, right? If you went there, but now anybody can do it, right? So I thought that was kind of stupid. Plus, I don't know. I mean, tell me your opinion about this. I think this makes me look like a freaking girl, dude. I think this makes me look like...
you look fine. You're great.
I think this makes me look like... I'm not going to use
it's actually one that looks a lot like you, believe it. I mean that in a good way. This looks a lot like you.
Oh, really?
Versus some of the guys that I saw did not look anything like... I saw like Kenny's, I saw some other people. It did not look like them at all, man.
I just
like the facial hair looked really weird on some people.
You know, so I mean,
I know because you think that it looks like you have lipstick and some like makeup on, but maybe Dan, you need some.
I wasn't happy with this, so I actually took
great, man.
I actually got another card. I had a second card done, but it's gonna be mailed to me. It's gonna be mailed to me. Oh my god. Okay. So anyways, that was the whole thing with Tag.
But then, is there? But now what?
This showing this card off kind of like caused the whole shitstorm, which I'll tell you about later if you want to hear it.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay, so it's about those comments that I posted. You want to get into that?
Wait a minute. Wait, is this tie in what I just asked you, like briefly, and you said we would come back to it, or is this something else completely different?
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick.
Okay, so wait a minute. So this started the drama?
It was all about this. It was all about this. Okay.
Okay, so this is new to me, guys. This is news. I saw the post. I said something. You liked it. I know Kenny. Not Kenny. Maybe he did. Denny did. Denny Card said something. Yeah. I messaged that person, whoever I have no clue who they are. They had like 50 followers. I blocked them because I don't want to be threatened. I said, "Don't you ever dare come to say this to my friend again." Then right after I did that, I thought maybe he had told you or something because this person probably could be triggered very easily. So I got a little worried, but it pissed me off. I will say that. Time after I did that, I told Maria about it. You removed it. So I thought like maybe you knew that I did. I was like, oh my god, Dan maybe might get mad because I may have said something mean. And because I was going to show Maria, but at that point it was already removed. So you didn't have it on there. And I'm like, who? It's like, why does this even matter? This person who has like 50 followers, that's it. Who is this crazy? They don't even have a face of themselves. They're deranged. They have mental issues. They obviously don't go to shows. Tell me what happened, Dan.
So I have screenshots of that. I'll share with you privately.
Yes, you should.
Okay. So anyway, so what he's talking about, guys, is I posted something over the weekend about this guy who said some really nasty.
It's horrible.
Nasty remarks towards me, and it started this whole shitstorm. But this is what happened. Okay. So I just told you that, in my opinion, this picture makes me look like a girl, right? So I posted this on my Instagram, making fun of myself. I'm saying, why did Tag have to do this? You can see the post. The post is still there.
Oh, that one's still there?
I posted this card, this picture on my Instagram, making fun of myself. And then this guy says this stupid remark, calling me some type of Tag plant, like I'm promoting Tag. It should be PSA.
Oh, okay.
It should be PSA graded only. Tag is a joke, and I'm a joke because I posted this picture as if I'm promoting Tag, like they gave this to me for free.
Now this makes sense. Okay.
Some bullshit stuff, right? So I, naturally being me, I respond to the guy and I said, "It's a joke, you idiot." Right? That's what I said.
It's obviously a joke.
It's a joke, idiot.
Loosen up.
It's not promoting Tag or any crap like that. Anyways, that dude got super triggered. Okay, like talk about overreaction. It went from me calling him an idiot for saying that I was posting this to him calling me a Chinese spy, and that China has to.
You're not even Chinese.
Yeah, I'm not even Chinese, right? And that China
racist.
has to be defeated, and that we can't trust Chinese people in this political environment. And when
God.
entire long racist rant. Okay?
They just think every Asian's Chinese.
Exactly. And you
Oh.
can still see the comments. The comments are on my Instagram if you
Okay.
want to check it out. So, anyways, he wrote that about me, and I didn't say anything. I just like, you know, I didn't check it immediately.
You left it alone, right?
Well, I didn't check it immediately because
Oh, okay. You have to
But-
follow up with what the
Yeah,
comments were.
But other people saw that, and other people came to my defense, which is why the community is great and why our
Yes.
followers are great. Adrian,
Yes.
Stevie Sports Card, is one of my biggest defenders, and he jumped right into it. He got like they went back and forth.
Oh, you know Adrian. Yo,
Adrian's
you
got
know
a
me
lot
and
of
Adrian.
Adrian's
He's
got a lot
we're
of
the
pent-up
same.
rage. Adrian's got a lot of pent-up rage, so he's always looking for an excuse to go at people, right? So, anyways, they're going into it. I don't really know what's going on during this time. Denny chimes in, and
Yes,
then
I
he goes
know.
at
So
Jimmy.
you hadn't. So I had seen all. This is when I actually tuned in and was checking your Instagram when this was all happening. So you hadn't even seen all this yet.
No, not really, because I was busy
Okay.
making sales. I was making money, you know.
I had
The
seen
show
all
I was
this,
supposed
and then
to.
time when Maria was doing something, she came out. I wanted to show her, and immediately you removed it.
So this guy was just like fighting with Adrian,
All of
fighting
everybody.
with Denny, fighting with other dudes in the comment section, and I don't know what's going on, right? And then Denny messages me with these screenshots of what this guy's saying to Denny privately.
Yep.
Okay? He was saying he was basically being really racist towards Denny. He was saying he was threatening his kids, saying he was going to eat his kids and some crazy shit
Oh.
like that, right?
This
then
person,
that brought it to my attention.
great jacket.
So then I started looking at the comments and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's nuts, right? He was saying, yeah, he was going to come. He's saying, he was
No,
gonna
follow you. He's gonna follow your back. Watch
That
your
was-
back
that was
always.
separate. That was separate. Okay.
Okay.
He was saying that he was going to come to the show and attack me and Adrian, right? And anyways,
I think it's
So-
the same guy who said this before when we were in Atlantic City that time and said he was gonna stab you and me. I have this feeling it's the same person.
that's a different thing. Okay.
Okay.
So so he's
These are my
saying
2
this, right?
cents.
He's saying this, and then I'm just still busy. This is on Sunday, so I'm still busy packing up and doing sales and packing up and getting ready to get out of there. So I just kind of
Okay.
leave it alone. I leave it alone, right? And then at dinner, I'm having dinner, and I'm in a great mood because of the show. We had a great show. I'm in a great mood with my family. I'm having a steak. It's celebratory dinner. So I just think to myself, you know what? Maybe this guy, maybe I shouldn't have called this guy an idiot. Maybe he didn't have any ill intentions. Maybe he's just really in love with PSA or whatever. So I have a brief moment of sympathy for this guy. Okay.
Okay.
So I go
Really?
into my DMs and I see that he had DM'd me, but the message was blocked because there's like filters on Instagram. If you curse or things like that,
Right.
Instagram filters will kind of block those messages. So I see that,
It can
was a
sense
There was a
cursing or threats.
but I don't really pay attention to it. So I write
Okay.
him a brief message. I said, look, dude, let's try to clear the air. You know, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I misunderstood your comment, I apologize. If you don't like me for whatever reason, fair enough, dude. You're entitled to your opinion. Basically, I just try to clear the air. Okay. And then when I do that, it unlocks the message that he sent to me prior that I had not seen yet. Okay. So I do that, and then it unlocks that message, and he sent me this paragraph saying how he was gonna like find me, how I didn't know how he looks, you know, and that he was gonna come to the next show, stay next to my room, and get me, you know, try to assault me in a corner when I was by myself, and that he was gonna come after me, my family, and all this stuff, and that, you know, I would never see it coming. Basically, making a lot of threats towards me, right? So then I see that, and I get upset, right? And I block him immediately. And first of all, I regret giving the olive branch to him. I should have gone with my better judgment, just like I do with all those idiots, and just said, fuck you, and blocked them. I should not have tried to be the nice guy. Okay. So that's a lesson learned from me. That's a lesson learned from me.
No, that's okay. That's okay, man. You have
But
a right to
anyways,
say that.
so I see that message, and you know, it's upsetting when you get messages like that. Like, it's for no reason, you know, like up until that point, I had never talked to that guy. I had no interactions with him. The worst thing I ever did was call him an idiot for calling me some type of tag sympathizer. So like, but it doesn't warrant him making threats like that, very specific threats like that, right? So anyways, what I do is I screenshot everything from my records. I always screenshot these things,
you need
guys.
to.
I always keep receipts of all these people because unfortunately this is not the first time that people have sent me these type of messages, you know, which I'm going to get into. So I screenshot it and I decide to post the screenshots because the guy made a personal threat to me. All right.
Understand.
So I post the screenshots and I write a little message saying, you know, how 99% of the people in the hobby are awesome, great, decent, good people that I would love to hang out with. But a very small minority of people are crazy psychos that do not belong in the hobby, basically. Okay.
We don't even know if they're in the hobby, really. Yes. They're just, like you said, armchair warriors or keyboard warriors.
They're like, this guy's psycho for sure.
Yeah.
Okay? So anyways, I post that and within like, I just posted it because I just want to bring awareness that this stuff happens to me. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do anything from it. I'm not trying to cause a shitstorm or anything.
Yeah, you're just trying to protect yourself.
But within an hour, within just like a short hour, and this was at nighttime, I posted like 10 o'clock thinking that
on Sunday?
That not many people would see it. Within an hour, I got like over 60 comments in there of people that were coming to my defense for what this guy had said to me. And the theme of the comments kind of got really like pitchforky, you know, like an angry mob was starting. I
know.
And I had people messaging me this guy's name, this guy's address, all the information that you want to know.
They actually knew who this person was.
I got it now. I got it. Okay. So people were finding his eBay page. People were doing.
Oh, wow.
They were like, they were saying, okay, let's go. Let's report him. Let's get his eBay page taken down. Let's go do this. Let's do that. Let's report him to the police. And it was,
this was all from Adrian?
No, this is just everybody.
I know. Like, I can see Adrian already getting all this.
There's
ready.
People in the hobby that
Adrian's already driving to his residency right now.
there's you know, detectives, there's cops, there's military people. There's a lot of people that have real world jobs that can find people like this, right?
That's crazy, man.
Anyways, so I saw the comments.
Don't mess around, man.
And it was really, it was like, it was heartwarming that people were coming to my defense. But I was a little bit worried that this was going to turn into something bigger that I didn't want to. Right. I didn't want this guy to start fighting with everybody. I didn't want this guy to become a household name. I didn't want to provoke him to do something extreme. You know, I didn't want to do anything.
No, I know, yeah.
So I decided to take
it could definitely trigger something, right?
Yes, because so many people were coming to my defense that I just didn't want to start shit.
Understand.
That was not my intention. So I took the post down within an hour. Within an hour, I took the post down, and then I just wrote a little blurb about it.
I can understand.
To share my thoughts. And anybody that wants to know, they can message me privately, and I can share the screenshots and things like that.
Right.
Which I have been doing privately, but that's just a way to control the.
You didn't want to get it out of hand.
I didn't want an angry mob to form, you know. But it was cool. It was very cool to see that people were coming to my defense for sure. And I got the information that I needed to get so that I can protect
yourself.
Yeah,
and your family.
I know all about that dude now. Okay, so if you're watching, motherfucker, I know about you. Okay, so
good job, everybody.
Hopefully that is it. Okay, but here's the big takeaway that I want to share with you, and we'll talk about this very briefly, guys, and then we'll get to the main topic tonight. Okay, guys like that, like this is not the first time that I've had messages like that. Unfortunately, there are guys that are very emboldened to just like cross the line of what the hobby is about. You know what I mean? You can make fun of people, you can talk shit, but you shouldn't be like threatening people's lives. You shouldn't be threatening people's families. You shouldn't be.
This is just a hobby, folks. Relax.
You shouldn't be outwardly racist towards other people that you don't
regardless.
And I just feel like these people, they're not functioning members of society. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that they would ever say that in person, but obviously on the internet, people just don't give a fuck. They can say whatever they want, right? And just put it out there. But I just think that comes from the hate videos towards me, right? By all those guys that we talk about, all those stupid troll trash content creators, Dan Car Guy, AIH, Sports Car Radio. Okay, I fucking said it. I named them. Okay? It comes from that shit because those people put out that type of content. And the people that follow them, they look at that and they think it's okay. They think it's okay to talk shit about people and to attack them and to make videos cursing them out and saying these things and exposing their information and things like that. And then because they follow that, they want to be part of that community. We have our own community,
part
right?
of the trolling.
We have our
and
own
the harassment.
Of followers. They have their own community. And when they do that, their community wants to be part. They want to play that game. And then they send these stupid messages like that. They send
unfortunately, we have a lot of that in this world right now. We don't need that.
They cause this shitstorm. They enable that behavior, you know? Mm-hmm. And I feel like this is why I feel like I need, like, for some reason, I've been put in this position where they're attacking me. And I've been put in this position where I have to kind of defend myself as well as other people in the hobby against this bullshit. But I feel like, you know, when we talk about when they call me a gatekeeper, this is what I am talking about, right? This is what gatekeeping is. Be. You can't let these type of people in the hobby that think that they can treat other people that way. Nobody's entitled to that type of privilege to treat people that way, right? So you have to like kind of keep those people out. They can collect cards, they can do whatever they want, but they don't get to be part of our community. They don't get to come to the card shows and treat people with that type of disrespect or threaten people or anything like that. And I think that, you know, we have to, or for me, I'm going to embrace that role. You know, if you want to call me a gatekeeper against people like that, and I have to use my platform to speak out on it, fuck it, I'll do it, you know, because I just think it's really egregious and unacceptable that type of behavior is encouraged by those type of people. And they might not admit it. They might not think that they're doing it, but they are. Okay. Because as much as they want to point fingers at people and call people like me an influencer and things that I talk about can influence how people buy things like that, they themselves are also influencers in that regard. And they should look at themselves under that type of scrutiny, because
I agree.
When they put out that type of hateful content, their followers will think that's okay and will build on top of that. Right. So, you know,
yeah. And if they have a lot of followers, they should be aware of what the ramifications are or what the reactions will be from their actions.
Right. If you're gonna call people like me or anybody else that makes content an influencer, you have to look at yourself with that same type of lens. Okay. And you have to be a role model for the community that you build.
Right. And then I have been to some of these live streams from some of these people that we have even mentioned, and I have told you, without even saying names, that there are people in the chats had said racist things, and those people not only brought them to attention, put them in the comments below like we do, and that should not be allowed. That's actually egging this on. Like, you should tell people, like, I would not allow this kind of talk about with people. Dude.
You know, so
enabling. You're enabling it. Correct.
For that, but they never will. Right?
And you should know that's wrong.
Yeah. You know, there's just no room for that in the hobby. Okay. Like, maybe that stuff flies in different types of community, different type of chat rooms, things like that. But within the context of the hobby, the stuff that we deal with, there's really no room for that kind of bullshit. And that should definitely be checked on every.
This is a hobby. This is not even politics. I'm going to jump the gun real quick because I see Random 77 card collection. He says the hobby has gone mad. Actually, the hobby hasn't gone mad. The thing is, these people want it to go mad. These people want to make it mad. And the thing is, there's so many people from so many different lifestyles that come to these conventions that we meet in the hobby. And I know we're like different, you know, worlds, we're different religions, we're different politics, we're different everything. But when we come in, we don't really talk about that stuff. We just talk about the hobby. That's all we do. And we set all that stuff aside for, like, we don't even talk about even what what's your favorite team or whatever. We just talk about what we collect. That's it. And because we just want to go there to escape all that shit, just to have a good time. And the hobby should be about pleasure. It's an escapism for like a weekend, guys. We don't want to, we want to get away from reality for a little while. That's it.
The hobby is an escape from real world problems that everybody faces on a daily basis.
Yes.
And that's the way it is. But some people just want to fucking ruin it, by
ruin it
with this, and they want to call themselves watchdogs or, expose people and things like that. But what they're really doing,
calling people like racist things it's not that.
Seeds of hate. They're sowing the seeds of hate. They're creating false grievances in people's minds. And I just think it's bullshit, right? So I might not be in a position where I can do anything about it now, but as my platform continues to grow, when I get to a certain status within the hobby, I will definitely be speaking out against this shit a lot more, for that. So anyways, that's the only thing I want to, finish up there before we get into our actual.
I know we got a lot to talk about still. A lot of comments.
A little bit late here, so let's forget about.
We have 64 people right now, Dan.
Yeah, let's forget about that bullshit and let's get into the main topic.
But we had to get it off our chest.
Yes, I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for listening to me. This is therapeutic for that. Okay, all right. So the main topic tonight is: should we stop being?
Oh my God, we haven't talked about this yet.
Should we stop being vendors at card shows? Okay. Let me reference this and give you some context about this.
Okay.
So I just talked about how great the Burbank Card Show was.
I know. Yes.
So you're thinking like, what are you talking about, Dan? You just,
I know. I got a little worried because before all this, you were almost really thinking about not being a vendor anymore. Yeah. We've talked about this many times.
Here's the thing. Here's the revelation that I had being at the Burbank Card Show. And I've been thinking about this for a while, but there's a couple of things that happened, experiences that I had at Burbank that just kind of made me think about this more. Okay. So at Burbank, I was selling a lot of low-end stuff. I was having a lot of transactions, but I was selling a lot of low-end stuff. Same thing like with Adrian.
You mean at this weekend, you were still selling low-end stuff? Adrian,
I use that example. He sold like 500 cards, right? But they're like $500 cards, okay? Or a mix of that, like $5 to $10 cards, just like.
And a lot of people were messaging me, also telling me the same thing, telling me how their weekend was.
It's a lot of work to sell that kind of stuff, right? And it would just be so much easier to sell like one card for $2,000 versus selling like 500 cards for whatever to make $2,000. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just much more efficient to sell high-end cards. But this current market, not a lot of people are dropping that type of money on high-end cards, right? So that was just like one thing that kind of stood out to me in terms of like the amount of work that you have to do to make money as a vendor. You really have to weigh it out versus your time and how you value your own time and effort versus how much you make. Okay. I'm not saying that I'm not talking about not being in the hobby at all. I'm talking about being a show vendor.
Right.
Because there's a lot of expenses that come with being a show vendor. The table, the hotel, travel, food, all that stuff. And you're working 12 hours a day, sometimes 15 hours a day with trade nights. And all that
and you've got some labor to do.
So,
for sure.
So that just made me think. But what really got me, right, is this guy that came to my table. All right. And
there's someone that came to your table this weekend at Burbank Card Show.
Yeah. So he was an old guy. He was like in his 60s. He was like in his 60s, old dude. It was hard for him to get around. Like he asked me to give him a chair. So I had to take a chair, hand it over the table so that he could sit down, look at my stuff and talk to me. And he was so nice. He was like the nicest gentleman that you could think of. Like he has a personality like Gramps. He saw my daughter there. He saw Emily. And he's like, oh, cute girl. And he was like talking to Emily and playing with her and all that stuff. So
yes, very sincere.
Super, super nice guy. But I looked at this guy and he was like struggling to walk around.
Oh no.
And he was asking me.
And he was just in his 60s? Oh man.
Yeah. He was asking me if I was going to buy anything from him. Or if I could buy stuff from him. So he pulled out a bag of stuff. And they were mostly like autographed photos of entertainment stuff. Like you would actually like this stuff.
Oh, really?
I have his card. I'll give you his card later.
Okay.
He had music stuff. He had old TV stuff. But it was like the kind of stuff that we saw at that Hollywood memorabilia.
The show that I set up with the show locator.
Yeah, like he was showing me pictures of like movie stars from the 40s, 50s, 60s. I had no idea who.
But it wasn't authenticated, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Right? So like the most relevant thing that he had a couple of Taylor Swift CDs, but they were not even authenticated.
Did you?
But he was showing me.
You want to take a gamble on it?
Not for what he was asking for.
Okay. Oh wow.
Okay. So he was showing me this stuff, and it's not really relevant to me. And he pulled out an entire binder of who is that? Denise Richards. You know her, Denise Richards?
Yeah, she used to be married to Charlie Sheen.
Yeah. So he pulled out.
She was really sexy back in the day.
A whole binder of autographed photos of hers, and I was just thinking to myself, this. Like he told me he's been doing this for like 30, 40 plus years.
Okay.
So I was just thinking to myself, man, this stuff would have been like really, really popular back in the day. but to somebody like me and today, it's hard to move. It's not really relevant inventory. It's very, it's for a specific niche of people that collect that stuff. Mm-hmm. Right. So anyways, we start talking. I didn't buy anything from him because it's not stuff that I need. We start talking. And he was so nice to Emily, my daughter. I said, "Oh, do you have kids? Do you have grandkids or anything?" And he said, "This is his answer. This is what kind of shook me." He said, "Okay." He kind of looked down and he's like, "No, I never had kids." And I said, "Oh, okay. Are you married?" Yeah. And he's like, "No, I never got married." And I said, "Oh, okay." I just kind of ended it like that because you have a girlfriend. He seemed kind of sad.
Oh no!
And then he said this. He said, "One of my biggest life regrets is not having a family, not having kids, never getting married." And then he walked off. And I was like, "What did he just say to me?" And then
are you trying to scare me, Dan?
I was trying to think about it, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I think he just kind of expressed his personal feelings towards me based off of that question I asked him, right? And it got me thinking.
That you got too nosy or what?
No, it got me thinking that, okay, dude's been in the hobby 30, 40 years. He's got all this inventory that he can't sell. He can barely walk. Super nice gentleman, super kind, but doesn't have a family. Doesn't, like the hobby is his life.
And it made me cry, man.
It got me thinking about other people that I know in the hobby. Because we talked about when we go to shows, right? Mm-hmm. Where we see all the same old vendors, all the same people.
Right.
Like the traveling circus. And I remember another time I was sitting next to this dude who was talking about like his background. And he's like, "Yeah, I've been doing shows for like 20 years now, and I'm just so busy because I'm traveling every weekend, going to shows, this and that," right? And he was also another like older guy, kind of overweight, kind of like didn't look very healthy, right? But he was just saying like, "I'm always like working, doing the show." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm working doing this show, and I'm working hard to make money, selling these dollar cards or $10 or $20 and things like that. So these guys must have similar experiences, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's hustling. Everybody has a lot of inventory, and they're hustling to sell it. And not everything's like a $2,000, $5,000 card. Most people have inventory, like low grade inventory that they're moving from show to show, trying to make ends meet selling this stuff, right? And then I was thinking to myself, how many people do we know that are sitting on a ton of inventory? That they sell like you have all those boxes behind you, not in right now, but you have I got a ton of stuff, right? And we were just talking about this a couple of weeks ago about like, when do you sell your collection, right? When do you sell? So like, we know a lot of people that probably have a ton of inventory, right? And if you're trying to do this hobby full time,
oh, there it goes.
I think when people do, I think if I don't know what happens.
No one will tell us. Keep going. Sorry.
Well, a lot of people have a lot of inventory. Everybody has huge collections. Everybody's sitting on a lot of inventory, and we value our inventory, right?
Right.
We might say, "Oh, I have $100,000 worth of inventory or $1 million worth of inventory," but the actual process of trying to make a living being a show vendor, taking that inventory from show to show, selling it one transaction at a time, that's a grind for a lot of people. Right?
It is, yeah.
And it made me kind of think like, everybody wants to be in the hobby full time. Everybody wants to make money doing this, and some people are making a lot of money. But I look at the OGs in the hobby that have been doing this for a while, and I don't think a lot of them are well off, dude. To be honest, I really don't think a lot of these people are living up the best life that they can being show vendors. It's just like not that lucrative unless you can really scale it up and have like 8 different tables and have, you know, thousands of dollars of inventory, and you're just transacting like crazy, because some people are doing that. There are some people that do that. Most of us are single, you know, are like single table, 2 table vendors, just bringing whatever we have to shows, trying to get rid of it, buying more stuff because we're addicted to the hobby, and that's the life we live.
It's just
we're
circle of the sport of it.
And you know, if you go to all the main shows like we do, you got to go across the country. You got to go Dallas, Atlanta, you know, California, Denver, wherever else they have these shows, right? You got to travel all these places. It's a grind on a lot of people. When we did it every month, you nearly died. Okay, in 2021, when we did it every month, or 2022,
yes, you nearly Dan tried to kill me.
You nearly died, dude. So like, we had to stop. And it makes me think, because on one end,
it was rough. It sounded like a pleasure at the beginning of the year, but by the end, I was on all fours crawling.
So on one end, I see these really old people that are been doing this for a while, and they look like they're struggling. Okay. And then on the other end of that, I see really young people, guys like Rolf Cards, you know, other guys like that in their 20s, right? And they're hustling and they're making money and they're doing this full time. They probably didn't go to college. You know, they don't have full-time jobs. This is their full-time job. They're hustling in the hobby and they're making money doing this, right?
Yeah, and they probably don't have a house or family to pay for either.
That's the other thing. So this is where I think it's very interesting, okay, to talk about. So the young guys that do this, these guys are hustling. They're making money, right?
Right.
I talk to a lot of them. I understand their business model. They're flippers, basically. And I have to imagine that these guys, they have very low overhead in their life.
Yes,
a lot of these guys are not married. A lot of these guys don't have kids. A lot of these guys probably rent or have roommates or things like that, where they have low overhead.
When we were in our 20s and early 30s, we lived that kind of lifestyle too, probably. Yes, I'm sure you did. I did. Right? I know I did.
It's easier. It's easier when you don't have a lot of responsibilities in life. I remember when I was in college, I worked this retail job where I worked at a men's suit store. Okay. I worked there almost full time, like 30 hours a week, and I was going to college.
Yeah.
But I was making like $1,500 a month. And after taxes, I was making about like $900 a month after taxes. Okay. And I was living at my brother's house rent free at that time. So I just had to pay for like car, cell phone, things like that. But I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know, I could totally survive on $900, $1,000 a month. Easy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I sure did.
School, and I could work at this store full time, and I could make $1,000 a month take home, and I could just live my life, right? I thought that. Like now, obviously that wouldn't work, right? Because I'm older. I have responsibilities. I have a family.
Exactly.
When you're young, you don't really think like that, right? You don't really think like that. So a lot of the guys that I talk to are in that position where they don't have a lot of overhead in life. They don't have a lot of responsibilities. So they can live off of the hobby, right? But because I'm 41 years old, I'm at a stage in my life where I've worked hard to establish myself. I have responsibilities. I have a family. I have a daughter, a wife. I own a home. I have these things that I have to take care of. And I have a career outside of the hobby that allows me to do that, right? So I have the benefit of hindsight. I know for a fact that when you get older, you're going to start dating, right? And, you know, if you start dating somebody, they're going to want somebody with some stability, financial security.
Oh, yes. That's so true.
They want somebody that has a job, that has benefits, that has health insurance. You're not going to get that from the hobby, right? If you're, you're a show vendor.
They don't want to be with someone who sleeps in a twin bed.
Yes. So like, you're not going to get that from being a show vendor. Is what I'm saying. You're not going to get health care.
No.
You're not going to have stability. You're going to be traveling every other week. You know, like if you're dating somebody and you tell them, "Oh, my boyfriend is a card flipper," that's not something that they can be proud of necessarily. You know, like some people can do it. Some people that make millions.
There's a card flipper and they're content
like
creator or something like that.
That guy Shine. That guy Shine, he flips like $1 million cards. Okay, that guy can do it.
But that's a freak of nature.
Yes, but most people, you know, it's not something impressive to a lot of people. And especially if you don't understand the hobby, you ain't going to get it, right? You're going to think it's a joke. So but let's just say, let's give the benefit of the doubt that they can do it. They can make enough money that they have their own apartment or whatever. They can pay for their car and they can date and do all that stuff. I guarantee you these people are doing taxes. If they're doing taxes at all, they're not doing taxes in a way that makes it look like they have income. Okay. I can almost guarantee you that. So, and that's fine, right? Because you obviously you don't have to pay taxes if you don't have to, right? If you can write off business expenses and things like that. But another part of life is that at some point you need to apply for loans. If you ever want to own a house, you got to apply for a loan. If you ever want to start a business and apply and get a line of credit, you got to apply for loans, right?
So many things, yes.
And what a lot of these people don't know is that, you know, the loans are based off of your ability to show income on your tax return. And if you're doing your taxes in a way where you're not showing income, you're not going to qualify for loans. And if you can't qualify for a loan, if you don't have good credit, you're not going to be able to buy a house or buy a car or whatever, right? So that's another stage in life that these people have not encountered yet because they're still young in their lives, right? But let's just say that you can get through all that. Then you get to the point where you're like these old timers, these OGs, where you have amassed a lot of inventory, and you can move it. You can take things here and there, but like if it's just like it's hard, you know, like. You're going to end up like that old guy that I talked about, you know, and that's like one of the saddest things that I've kind of seen, you know what I mean? And
you've made me depressed.
And what I want to do is the reason I want to talk about this is I just want like any of the young hustlers in the hobby out there, I want them to think about this because I don't want them to be like that guy. Okay. I want them. I want anybody that is young and ever comes up to me and asks me about advice outside of the hobby. I always tell them this. I always like say in the hobby, you can do this as a side hustle and you can make good money as a side hustle, but it can't be your main source of income unless you scale it. There are people that scale up their business. They start a breaking business and they can scale it up. They start a business like Mr. Minty's service. They start a card shop. You
gotta think outside the box, man.
They start a business that doesn't depend on the market of selling cards, right?
Yes, you're dependable on one system only. You can't do that.
But if you're gonna be a show vendor like what we do, it's gonna be tough. You know what I mean? It's gonna be tough to
But most people we know, this is pretty much their side hustle.
Yes, and I know a lot of young people that do this full time.
Well, full time, but you can do it full time. Like when I was their age, I was a DJ every single day of the week, you know, and that was fun. But I can't do that now.
Exactly.
You imagine doing that.
You had to do something else, right?
Yeah, I went back to school again to learn editing.
But you know, when I was in school, when I was in college, I worked all sorts of different types of jobs. I was like a flower delivery person. I was like, I worked at like the suit store and retail and all these different jobs. But I didn't realize until I got to law school that the jobs that I was working were not adding to my work experience that I could build on to get better jobs, better opportunities.
There it goes again.
So what I had to do is when I made a conscious decision that when I was in law school, any job that I would work had to be relevant for my field. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
understand.
So to tie this back to the hobby, it's like these people, they're in the hobby making money, but unless they become entrepreneurs and start some type of business within the hobby, these type of skill sets and things like that are not necessarily applicable, except for sales experience. That's always applicable to everything, right? Yeah. So my message out there, I'll cut it short. My message out there to people that are watching this is that the hobby is a great way to make money, but you got to look beyond that. Okay. You got to look beyond that. You got to look beyond just trying to live week to week on these shows. You've got to try to either scale it up somehow, start a business, or get a more applicable skill that gives you more stable income where you can apply for loans, where you can get health insurance, where you can find a partner that will be proud to be with you, you know, and understand what you do. Just don't end up like that old man with regrets. You know what I mean?
No.
You don't want to be the old guy that has a bunch of inventory that's worth a lot of money, but he has to hustle to try to sell it, and you don't have time in your life to build a life outside of the hobby because you know, that stuff really matters. You know what I mean? Anything you want to add to that? I gotta go.
Yeah, man. Well, hopefully the younger guys will use some of that money that they've been, you know, hustling with and put that aside, save some of it, and use that to either go back to school or do whatever, you know, make another investments, or use that to take another job or do whatever. I mean, when I finally moved to Los Angeles, I had to take like 4 or 5 jobs to pay the bills here in LA, because, you know, Los Angeles is not a cheap rent. Rent is not cheap here. So if I wanted to live the lifestyle I had to take on like 4 or 5 jobs. I had like 2 waiter jobs. I had 2 catering gigs. I don't know if I told you, but I was the clown. You know, I dressed up, going to kids' parties. I mean, I had to like, literally, this is before smartphones. I had a calendar where what my job was every single day. Sometimes I had two jobs per day. And then on top of that, I had an intern, because, you know, the interns really don't pay anything at all. But that was the only way I could get make myself available, and to do what I wanted to do. So I had to really, really work. But I couldn't have kept that going all my life. That would have worn me out. But in my 20s, that was nothing. You know, I could sleep for 2 hours per night. That was nothing for me. That made it easy. But you know, but I had a goal. And I wanted to live my dream, and this is what I did. I knew what I had to do. And you know, and I was also, you know, me, I'm a social person. I like the ladies, I like my friends. So if I wanted to go out on dates and hang out with my friends, I need to have that pleasure money.
Pleasure money, guys.
Pleasure money.
That's what he calls it.
Pleasure money.
So to kind of sum it up, so we can.
But I knew the ladies would not.
We're running late here.
Yeah,
Let's summarize this up here. Is the topic of discussion is should we continue to be show vendors? I would say yes. If you want to do it as a side hustle, be a show vendor, make your money on the side. But if you really want to be in the hobby full time, you've got to find a more stable way of making this income, because you can't be hustling your whole life. You need to make time for other things outside of the hobby that come with life getting older.
And I think the thing is, between me and Dan, that we're always thinking about other alternatives. Like, what else can we do with this? How can we integrate this into something to the next level, or take it to the next step? So we're always thinking. We're not just settled into this and let's just do this. We're always thinking of other things, outside the box.
I set up at shows, but I don't really think of myself as a full-time vendor anymore. I think of myself as a content creator in the hobby space and a long-term investor of collectibles.
Yes.
That's how I think. But when I got into the hobby really full-time,
at first,
I tried to be a full-time vendor.
Okay.
Right? You know, but I just feel like you know, it's hard to make a living being a full-time vendor, for sure.
And Dan's had to take care of me because he saw me turning into that poor old man.
honestly, if Merlin didn't break down, we'd probably be full-time vendors. We probably could have made a business out of this, but Merlin,
what?
You know, he
oh my God! Now make me feel guilty about this. Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's get to the comments section here. We are going over, but we'll try to get to everything.
I know, but gosh, look how many viewers we have, Dan. Mark the Collector. Happy Tuesday, party people. Mark's always the first person to say this. Zup Chili. Is this still Mark? Who is this different person? Hello. These guys. And then Carlos. Ready for another great show. Man, God, this was like 3 hours ago. Aura Sports Car Professor 7. Good evening, gentlemen. Getting to you, Orist. The Sports Card Professor 7, the Burbank Card Show VIP ticket Shroud of Secrecy giveaway was a bust. Apparently, you could still get it for $20 without a VIP ticket. And is this what you were showing? This was the tag?
Yeah, the tag card here.
Okay.
I feel like this should be like a show exclusive. I don't think they should try to offer this online because that just kind of takes the novelty of it away. But you know what it is. It probably makes them a ton of money.
But they realized it was too ambitious after Thursday, or when?
Probably Friday, I guess.
Okay. Aka collects. Is this Christian? Let's go. Again, he says, Aka collects. Who's ready for the Elimination Chamber this weekend? 4 a.m. start over here in Dallas. Holy shit. Any predictions? God.
Well, it's going to be Rhea over Nia. It's probably going to be Becky winning the Elimination Chamber. And then I don't have a prediction for the guys, but I'm thinking the Rock is going to get involved somehow.
Wait a minute. So Christian's saying it's at 4 a.m. start time in Dallas. That means, Dan, you want to come over at 2 a.m.?
Is it 2 a.m. live? What?
Well, if it's 4 a.m. in Dallas.
That's crazy. But there's no delayed start?
Sorry. Hold on. No, that is 2 a.m. Yeah, that's 2. No, it's 2 a.m.
Like delayed start? I don't know.
No, it's going to be 2 a.m. for us. Aka collects. What you drinking, Dan? Manhattan?
I polished off an entire bottle.
Oh, wine.
Of wine. Yes, wine.
Stella.
Yes.
Gramps, Michael. Gramps in the house. Yes, you are. Look at his nice avatar. The Sports Card Professor 7 did not see any YouTube about Repackers at Burbank. Did you meet any of them, Dan?
I don't have inventory that Repackers use. So no, but they were there. And I heard that they were paying about 85%.
Well, I did talk to Stefan today. And he said, he had a kind of a mediocre show, he said. And he said that he sold a bunch of his Disney cards to Repackers.
Oh, interesting. Good.
I don't know if you knew anything about it yet or not. That's about all I know. I haven't really gotten the detail. I'll find out more this weekend. CV Sports Cards, Adrian, who was your partner this weekend. Merlin, man, really missed you this weekend. What's up, greatest curator? He's calling you the greatest curator now. Are you going to change your name to greatest curator?
Maybe. We'll see.
Wow. An update. Huncho Wrestling 2. Love the name. Yo, what's up, buddy? The Sports Card Professor 7. Orders again. Did you grade any cards yet, Dan, with tag?
No.
Besides your own.
No, and I probably won't use them for any reason because all my slabs are mostly in PSA and I want everything to be the same. So I probably wouldn't use tag. I'm actually thinking about doing this. Tell me what you think. This would be a bad move.
Okay.
I was thinking about cracking this and seeing if I could put it into a PSA slab. Do you think that would piss anybody off if I did something like that?
Now, who made the card again?
Tag. This is a tag.
Okay,
card.
I didn't know. I didn't know if it was a collaboration between them, Panini or Fanatics. Yeah, but I didn't know if it was Fanatics made. Like they actually printed the cards too there.
Yeah. Okay. So how funny would it be if I cracked this and I put it into a PSA slab if they did that?
I don't think they'll do it.
I think Tag would. Why not? It should be like a custom card, but I think Tag would probably like blackball me from ever doing anything with them.
So you were beside them at the at Burbank, correct? Your booth was.
Yes,
how was
their
really, was there
I was like 2 tables down from them, so they
are still a lot of people getting their stuff graded with them.
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay. Just a question. Sports Card Professor 7, will you be making pins with the logo? How about custom promo cards?
Yeah, I think we might do
just
that.
Just like we did with the PSA ones?
Yeah, that might be really cool. We did some pins. So great idea.
Vintage Lord Canada, good to see you again. Nice shirts. Yes, we'll buy one from us.
Okay, if you guys want these shirts, hit me up in the DMs on Instagram and I'll send you. Well, you can order one for me and I'll mail it to you.
They should get us a discount next time we need to get some made for them screwing up the order. Carlos, don't forget to like this video. Thank you, Carlos. Yes, make sure you like the video, smash that bell button, and more importantly, please subscribe to the channel. Sports Card Professor 7, if we buy something from Joe, instead of got baseball cards, will you get some kind of credit? Got good LCS to try to develop an affiliation for your listeners?
No, we don't get any credit, but I'm sure he'll appreciate it.
No, and we did, you'll see in the video, we did some kind of, content with trading and stuff at his store. The Sports Car Professor 7. Dan, did you win the Burbank dinner bet with Andrew? No, he means of Adrian.
Yeah,
yes,
of course.
and we already talked about that.
There was never any doubt.
From day one. Ed Ram, what's up, Ed? Merlin was fear and loathing in the sphere. Yes, I was, buddy. James, I have been setting up at local shows twice a month for 3 years and doing eBay since 2017, and April is my last month till fall or whenever I need a lot of free time to spare. James, again, by not setting up at card shows and closing my eBay store, which is together $120 a month, I will save $14.40 a year. Time and money in the new world since the pandemic has been growing sparse. Does it really cost $128 a month for eBay?
No way.
Okay. James, I guess the overhead maybe, the fees. Just looking to PC only and not flip cards, as it is a way to. It's way too time consuming, and the cost to do business is way too much for me to spend that time doing it.
Yeah, I often think about that. Like, I understand that the main demand in the hobby right now is for like low end stuff that's for collecting and fun, like $100 cards or dollar cards or whatever. But I mean, like, it's hard to like sell, $100 cards. I mean, $1,000 cards versus one card that's worth $1,000. You know what I mean? It's hard to sell that. So, like, when the market is not super hot and there people aren't buying $2,000, $3,000 cards every time, then it's hard to really value your time and effort versus how much money you're making being a vendor. Something I think about a lot. So
you still think, even at this show, everything's still type of like mid-end stuff?
I think so, yeah.
It's still at that same level.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian Basketballs, heard from Brian too this weekend. Just bounce. Basketballs and support, same old friends. Choo choo, thumbs up. The Sports Car Professor 7, lots of vendors were endorsing Mascot and listing their inventory for their Burbank showcases. What did you think of Mascot, Dan?
I didn't use it. And I'll tell you why I didn't use it, because it's extra work. I'm not going to freaking upload all my stuff onto another platform, for what reason? I'd rather just take pictures of it and show it on my Instagram or something. But I understand the purpose of what they're trying to do. I just
was pretty much like the gist of Mascot.
You upload your show inventory to their website so that people can search it before they go to the show.
Okay, yes. I remember Worst telling me about that. Yes.
Sounds good, but like, who's really going to search like how are you going to search through all that stuff? If you're a consumer going onto their app, how are you going to search through all that stuff, right?
And Orest and Dan, do you all guys think that worked or not? Let me know. If you guys think it worked, message me. Sports Car Professor 7, Orest again. Are there things coming together for someone to provide a concierge service to attend virtually and buy from vendors?
No, I haven't heard anything about that yet, but that is a great idea. I think somebody can run with it for sure.
Haven't they kind of done that before? Hasn't Sports Card Investor done a few things like that in the past?
I'm not sure.
Carlos, hopefully Wemby lives up to the hype in the years to come. I'm sure. I mean, they'll probably end up getting the number one pick again this year, won't they? Because they're the worst team. Card Vibe. The NBA is not a good product. I guess Stephen Curry made everyone think it's more efficient to shoot threes, but it's really only for him. The league will just adjust back to more efficiency in time. Emmanuel, thank you for another episode. You're welcome, dude. Thank you for viewing another episode. Politus13, thank you guys for doing a great job. Well, thank you for that. I guess, is that the UFO that was filmed in Colombia on his avatar there? Did you see that? Maria said they actually filmed the best footage ever of a UFO, but it kind of looked like that one. The Sports Card Professor 7, did the Kobe Platinum Portrait PSA 9, prepped by Mr. Minty himself, survive the Burbank show? I guess it survived, but it's still there.
People wanted it, but nobody was willing to pay up for it. But we will see. We'll see how long it goes for.
Everybody tried to tenderize Dan, but Dan refused to be tenderized like that.
Diamond hands, guys, on this.
Diamond hands for once. Dan has diamond hands. CV Sports Cards. Adrian, Dan, you were on fire. Yes, we heard. The Sports Card Professor 7. It seems that Upper Deck, being in Southern California, is not supporting as a corporate sponsor the Burbank Card Show. Kind of interesting dichotomy, isn't it, Dan? Yeah, Upper Deck isn't Southern Cal. Yeah, why?
Like
the only time we've ever seen them was Toronto.
I just feel like Upper Deck doesn't care about showing face, and that's what I'm talking about when we were saying earlier.
Why is that?
We're saying earlier, like these corporate heads, the people in charge of guiding the hobby, right, with the products that we buy, they're not showing their face at some of these biggest events. I mean, the hobby is more than card shows for sure, but a big part of the hobby is going to these card shows, like the big ones, like Burbank, Dallas, the National, things like that, right? They should have a presence there, and if they don't have a presence there, it kind of makes you wonder about like how much they value us as the community.
Yeah, man, if they're here all the time, they'd really understand like what changes they could be made with not only just hockey, but the non-sport stuff like Marvel and AEW wrestling. They could really change the game.
If they set up, because they set up at Comic-Con. Upper Deck sets up at Comic-Con.
And I feel like they only set up every other year at the National.
Set up that booth at these shows, they would kill it. They don't understand. There's so much missed opportunity, marketing opportunity with them that they're just like, it just seems like they don't care. But they're
and they have some of the biggest names, spokespeople in the world, including Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, LeBron James. Aren't they still in contract with those people?
I don't think so. I think LeBron works for Topps now or something.
Okay. But Michael Jordan is, for sure.
Okay, let's move on.
Low Roller Scratcher. Is that a MetaZoo Hello Kitty?
No, it was not. It
The
was
one you showed that previously? 562 Slabs. This is obviously a generic question, but what's your opinion on the amount of money people are comfortable spending on a single item?
I feel like it's under like $200. Honestly.
Oh, it's still under 200.
That's what I feel. Unless you're looking for something specific where the market value of it, I feel like $200 or below is like where people are comfortable spending, on buying something for fun for their collection.
And then even for the big spender now these days at a show, it's probably like the most $1,000, correct?
Yeah.
Goldfinger Parallels. A great curator of music becomes art with AMG grading. That's right. The Sports Card Professor 7 Merlin's Type 1 photos were on display at the Heritage booth. I saw it on the YouTube post. Yes, I saw it everywhere. I even posted it myself. Thank you. Joseph Damon, assuming the comics would have done better, per se, at Culture Collision. Correct.
I did sell comics. at Culture Collision.
Well, that's right, you did. But that was we were at trade night only.
And I'm just going to say this right now because this is just a thought I have in my head. So I'm not really giving away a secret, but I want to... One day, I'm going to aspire to promote my own comic show. I think that would be really cool. But I want to take the transactional nature of the sports card hobby or trading card hobby, and I want to take that type of environment and create a comic and toy show around that. And we might even add music grading in there. Basically, I want to take alternative collectibles that are not trading cards that can be graded and take that same transactional theme and make a trade show of that.
And also make it like more aware from these trade shows.
Yes, because I was telling you I went to that comic show a couple.
Yeah, we discussed this at the last show.
It was so outdated. That industry can totally be disrupted. I'm also working on another project with original artwork. So, maybe one day I might be my own show promoter. I think if Jay's still in the room and Jay's listening to us, maybe I'll consult with Jay and then we'll start a new
and photos and everything.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. Let me see.
Yeah, because we see a lot of things that are close to this idea, but they just, like you said, they're outdated, and we need to upgrade these type of shows. Aka Collects. I need to finish the story. Cody Rhodes and Dan.
Yeah.
Did you see that Cody Rhodes lost last night?
Yes.
To Drew because the Bloodline. That's going to be an interesting story. The sports
now the
card
Bloodline
professors
is starting to reinsert themselves into all the storylines. They're starting to become dominant again.
Is that what that's about?
I think so.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. The Sports Car Professor 7. If you have used Mascot to list your show care, maybe you would have gotten the Kobe deal you were looking for, Dan.
Maybe.
Maybe. That's a lot to take in. Random 777 card collection. I used to watch those troll videos quite often, but I stopped watching it for like 3 months now because it's just getting so boring and repetitive. They keep talking about the same thing. They need a new content.
That's
and
the
then when
thing
they
with
run
them,
out of
guys.
content, they go back to Curator.
They're not creative enough. They're not creative enough to come out with content like me, Merlin, and everybody else in the hobby. They got to just talk shit about people. And there's only so many things you got to talk shit about. Like there's only so many major scandals in the hobby that they can cover. I mean, the ones that they do cover, like the legit ones, that's fine that they can talk about that. But then when they start picking on people and making fun of people like me and things like that for no reason, it just I think it falls on deaf ears, and it just kind of shows like how stale their content is.
The Sports Car Professor 7. Dan, did you get any feedback on that 22 Kobe Bryant Coca-Cola
really
Champions card? Now I saw that your post on that card. Tell us more.
Somebody brought that to me, and they were asking me about it, and I had no idea what it was. They said it's worth about $1,500, but somebody in my comment section said that card is fake. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
But it was slabbed, wasn't it?
It was. And then I started doing some research, and the same person was telling me that Beckett slabs a lot of fake cards. They do it all the time.
Ooh.
So I don't know. It's definitely a mystery.
Oh, I can't even say. There's a bunch of numbers. If one day another company comes and brings something to the table, people will hard flank.
I think so.
Flank
I think
plank.
I think people like us as the hobby, we feel, I don't know. I don't think that we have a lot of brand loyalty, to be honest, with a lot of these big companies, just because again, we don't feel like they're part of us, to an extent. Maybe that can always change. I do think that Fanatics is doing some positive things, so maybe that could change. But if a new company came in, I think it'd be exciting. And if we thought that they were trying to service our needs and all the things that we want because they understood us, I think that they would do very well.
Mm-hmm. Adrian, again, fantastic show. Great job, Jay, on the Burbank Card Show. The Sports Car Professor 7. That tag picture Dan needs a Between Two Slabs logo pin. Yep. City by the Bay. You guys joining me for the South Florida. Is that South Florida show in March? Or no, South San Francisco show in March.
No, that's the same weekend as the Dallas, so we will not be there.
Oh, is that when it is?
Yeah.
So mid-March. Michael Tom, hi Dan and Merle. The World of Sports Memorabilia Show is March 22nd, 24th at the Cow Palace in San Francisco Bay Area, 400 tables. You guys thinking of attending? I would like to meet you guys in living color.
I don't think.
I'm actually going there. Yeah, I told you with the show locator, Donald. He's dragging me up there, and I'm actually staying with my one of my best friends, who's also Vietnamese, last name Nguyen. So he's letting me stay with him. I'm gonna with another Vietnamese guy. I know him. He's one of my oldest, truest friends. He moved up there a few years ago. He lives in the I forget what it's called, the nice area, the CV Sports Cards. But I'm gonna do some catching up. The dude, that idiot, said he was at the show watching us, and I told him to come to our booth so we can talk about it. Booth 1023, laughing out loud. Yeah, you're not there anymore.
Those people don't go to shows. I don't know what to tell you.
Do they? Can I ask a question? Do they live in the area?
No, I know where he lives.
Okay,
it's nowhere near us.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a little sweaty there. Random. The troll got hurt because he was called an idiot.
Yep.
I'm sure. Well, on their profile, they said they had sex once, which was weird.
All right.
I swear to God. And I told him, well, you need to have more sex. Besides worrying about what the curate, but instead of worrying about what your life is doing, he needs to worry about his life. That's what I'm saying. CV Sports Cards, they're shit talking and they're crossing the line and threatening someone's family, life, and race. Cyberbullies have the lowest self-esteem out there in the real world. In reality, they are mice. Adrian said it.
Very true.
We didn't. Jay, Costco Luella. Is this our Jay? Burbank Card Show Jay?
Yes. Yes.
Someone here wanted to cancel his table. I guess you, Dan?
It was Adrian. It was Adrian.
Oh, Adrian.
Jay.
Okay.
I never doubted you for a second, Jay. Okay. I knew you had it on point. It was
now
Adrian.
he's saying, I think I
Adrian.
should have charged him a premium for his spot. Uh-oh, Jay. Please don't overcharge us next, because I will be there next in August at the Anaheim show. So don't overcharge me. CV Sports Cards. Everyone in the chat, please say hello to Jay, the promoter and mastermind behind the Burbank Card Show. And also the premiere show, too, right?
Right.
Emmanuel, we support you guys 1,000%. Thank you for the content. Thank you, Emmanuel. Love that everybody is
Appreciate that. Thank you.
watching the show and staying on like 2.5 hours right now, Dan, and we still have 55 people. Very impressive. Thank you, guys. Mid-Atlantic Sports Cards and Collectibles. Listen to Michael Rubin this week. Said one of the major things he loves about the hobby is that it is full of entrepreneurs and hustlers. The card shows can be adrenaline for some. To each their own. Yes, it's like a sport. It's like going fishing or hunting for that big buck. You know, this is our fishing. This is our hunting. It's for cards or collectibles. Agree, Dan?
Agreed.
Random 777 card collection. That price for that Bruce Lee auto photo should be $200,000. They are so rare. Wait, you have it out of your hand? They are especially Bruce Lee auto. Okay, Dan, you still haven't sold it.
Right here.
Did you even get any nibbles this weekend over it?
I got a lot of people want it, but I mean,
Are you going to do what I suggested?
Yes, I will. I just got to do the work to do it. But yes,
Okay.
This is my retirement right here, guys. This is going to pay off my student loans right here.
Especially if you get that double authenticated.
Yes.
Jay again. Jay of Burbank Card Show. Thank you, Daniel, for not spilling the beans on the VIP badges. Wink, wink.
Yeah, see, Oris, the sports card professor, was pressing me hard for weeks because I had known about that like a month in advance.
I know, and he wanted me to press you about it too.
He would say, "Let us know. Take out the shroud of mystery of all this stuff, right?" But I knew I had to keep it a secret because I didn't want Jay to put me on the other side of the room where the door was. So,
and I'd be like coming up in Anaheim in August. I'm like, damn, why do we have this table in the basement?
Yes. So now you know, Jay, you can trust me with all the secrets. You can trust me with all the secrets.
Okay, Jay has one more. Oh, Jay goes, dude, I have a bigger plan for Anaheim.
Oh boy.
Ooh, just you watch. It's a game changer.
Okay. All right. You can tell me in confidence, Jay.
Yes.
Okay, privately offline.
We've held good secrets.
Yes.
I hope we proved it. I hope Dan proved it this weekend. He can keep a secret. Flash one. Dude, where were you at Disneyland the first week of February? I think I saw you. Oh, were you at Disneyland? Yes, he was.
I was. Oh boy. Flash
For his
one.
daughter's birthday.
Yeah, Flash one.
I hope that's not the guy trying to follow
right?
you.
I know,
Hope
right?
that's not the person.
See me in real life. But I do have a Disneyland pass, and me and my family, we love going to Disneyland all the time. I love
Yes, he
going there at
does.
night. I love going there at night because I like to see all the lights shine and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. But
Did you buy any popcorn buckets like our buddies do?
not last time. But
Okay.
I'm thinking about collecting. I mean, I don't know if I can find some space because they're starting to appeal to me a lot more. So I like it.
But they're not selling cards there yet, as of yet.
Again, big missed opportunity for Disney not to sell cards at their theme parks. I mean, they would sell out, dude. Like it wouldn't even be a question that they would do it. So it's kind of crazy. That's a whole different conversation about people not understanding the potential of the card market. I could tell you some stories of conversations I've had with people in corporate positions about like trying to do projects and things like that, and they just not understanding what a trading card is. They think that it's like, I don't know, they think that it's worthless basically, but they're missing out on huge opportunities.
I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
let's see more comments here.
Okay. Jay, because if Merlin misses another Burbank show, he'll be on the back end of the vendor list. Dude, I missed one. This guy missed the first two.
No, I was at the first one, but I wasn't.
I missed one.
I was squatting at your table.
You missed this time last year.
The second time I was in Asia, family vacation, and then I was at Anaheim. I was this one. So actually,
this will make it so much grander than when I return.
I've been in the same amount as Merlin for sure.
Yes. Random 7/7 card collection. When you're the number one influencer in the hobby, you always have trolls following you. Yes, doesn't even matter.
I guess so. I appreciate that. Thank you, Random 777. I do appreciate that. And I guess I'm just gonna embrace it. They need somebody to pick on, so I'll just be that. I'll be that shield for everybody else, for our community, for as long as I need to be. Because again, these guys, they don't, their fucking insults don't bother me. They bounce off me like bullets off Superman. That's what I like.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
But I am keeping receipts. Okay.
The man of still over here.
Let that be a warning to you guys. I am keeping receipts. And when I reach a certain level of my followers and I build a community, I'm coming after you guys for sure.
Wow. Flash One, they should have promo cards there. Yes, agree.
Yeah, like at Disneyland. He's talking about Disneyland. Disneyland. Have you ever heard of pin trading?
No, what is it?
So Disneyland, they sell pins, and it's huge.
Meaning like pins on the buttons you put on a shirt, jacket?
Hugely popular, and they do like this thing called pin trading. Where
I've heard of this.
Certain stores have pins that you can go to the store and you can trade your Disney pin for a pin at the store, or any employee.
Oh, okay.
Any Disney employee wears pins, and you can go to any Disney employee and trade your pin with them. It's a huge thing.
Oh, wow.
And they have whole stores that sell these pins for like $15 each, right? And then people go to Disneyland with their pin books, and they will lay the pin books out on the benches, and people will trade with them. And they have entire conventions dedicated to pin
trading. They're basically all like Disney characters or Disney themed stuff?
Disney brand pins. It's a huge community. It's a huge market, just like trading cards.
Oh, wow.
So they could do the same thing. They just don't know. Somebody at Disney, okay, we need to get this podcast. Somebody needs to clip this podcast.
Yes.
Send it to somebody in the marketing department at Disney and tell them that they are missing out on a huge opportunity here. They're letting Topps Disney UK release. They're letting them make money. They're letting Disney make money. They're letting all these guys make money outside of Disneyland. They should be making money inside Disneyland with cards for sure.
In China, Japan, and the UK, they need to come here. Jay again, man, he's on fire right now. Mr. Burbank Card Show himself. And by the way, I was
fired up.
I was in talks with Upper Deck for Ontario, but they put me on the red. Oh, geez. They just gave him the Heisman.
I feel like they don't
stiff
care.
Arm.
How it would be way easier for them to just go I think they're in San Diego or something, for them to come up from San Diego to Ontario, set up a booth, versus flying across the country to any other card show. Like, this card show's in their backyard and they can't do anything about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That just kind of shows a lack of awareness for their customer base, I think.
Yeah, I mean, do they know how thirsty people are for like their Marvel product, not just hockey, but Marvel and AEW for wrestling? How hot it is right now? Right.
Like,
it's crazy.
The Marvel market is steady, but it's not. I mean, it's not as big as the Star Wars market, I would say.
But it could get bigger if they play their cards right.
And they could sell so many other cool things.
They could.
They
would realize how they could take it to another level.
That's a big missed opportunity for sure. And I'll say this too.
What's that?
I've talked because I buy those Upper Deck employee PMGs, right? So I've actually talked to a lot of Upper Deck employees when I'm trying to get these PMGs from them. They're not even collectors, dude. Like, these guys, they're just like casual people. Like, I talked to this one guy and I said, "Oh, you have all these hockey PMGs. You collect hockey?" And he's like, "Nah, they just give them to us, and I just sell them, And I'm just an employee. I just work in their accounting department. I work in their marketing department. I just do this or this." They're not there with us. They don't understand these things, So missed opportunity for sure.
The The Sports Card Professor 7, the tag grading unit at the Burbank Card Show is supposed to go to the Burbank Card Store. Interesting to see if that will happen. Yeah, I was wondering, well, that hasn't come into fruition yet. The vendor grading machine, the tag.
I don't know. I think it'll happen at some point.
Okay.
Sure.
Sports Card Professor 7, Jeff Wilson at Cards HQ posted the Disney rookie card, which Dan has been talking about. I mean, the Walt Disney one from 31, or which one?
Yeah. My BFF, Jeff Wilson, he's always like looking at me for the new trends for sure. So anytime you see something on his page, it's most likely it came from my page, okay?
Well, we had him admit on the video that he took the display cases.
Yeah, the Japanese display cases, the Walt Disney rookie card, the Taylor Swift
The balloons.
auto card, that came from me too, guys. Okay,
And he's been getting those too?
he had got one after
Oh my
I
gosh.
promoted it like a year before that. Yeah.
Oh, Jeff is stalking us, man. Jay, yes, they Tag is waiting on their RES machine to put at card shops, which is the vending machine.
Very cool. Okay. I appreciate all the comments, guys. I'm gonna have to cut it off there. This is one of our longest.
I've got some chili being made, guys.
Yeah, so we appreciate all the comments from you guys tonight. We appreciate your patience and hanging out with us.
Gosh.
Listening to Merlin go on his countless rants, endless rants. Okay. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Thank you for always supporting us in the comments, on the Instagram comments, and everything else that we do. Merlin, give them your last plugs.
All right, everyone. If you don't know me, hopefully you know me now. My name's Merlin. Merleworld Cards. Check me out on Instagram. Check me out on TikTok. Even YouTube. Believe it or not, I have a YouTube channel. I put some good content on there all the time. We'll have a bunch more coming up this week. I'm also going to be posting up some still. I have so much content that Dan and I did when we were on our southern trip to Dallas, Austin, and Atlanta for Culture Collision. Let me say that right. So I'll be posting that stuff coming up this week. So make sure you go on the Great Curator channel and my channel. Hit that bell button. Make sure you subscribe and just keep watching. That's all I ask. Dan, your turn.
Guys, appreciate it. Check out all our videos, especially the one we just posted with Prism God.
Yes.
And that's it, guys. So we'll just cut it now, and we'll see you guys next week.
Two nerds wishing they could grow body hair. Comics, cards, and toys, nothing that would interest you. It's